Chapter 1721 A Long River of Time, Control Time. I have seen the Frostless Lord. Yi Tian said hello one by one. The Endless Lord is amazing. The Frostless Lord praised. The other half-step legend realm lords also gave words of appreciation, and the words were full of surprise and inconceivable. After Yi Tian greeted the half-step legend realm lords, he looked towards this level. To be able to stop all the half-step legend lords, the difficulty of this level can be imagined. I saw a river in front of many half-step legend lords. This is not a long river of grey fog, but a long river of time. Yi Tian is no stranger to the long river of time. Many worlds have the long river of time, such as the countless worlds and worlds in the source sea have the long river of time, and these long rivers of time are the tributaries of the long river of time in the source sea. Like the creatures in the ordinary world, if they break free from the long river of time, they can live with the heavens and the earth. For a legendary lord like Yi Tian, the long rivers of time are nothing, and they can even create countless long rivers of time. However, the long river of time in the grey fog statue is not an ordinary long river of time. What is the specific time, Yi Tian has not entered, so it is not clear. Lord Wufrost, what's the mystery of this long river? Yi Tian asked. Lord Wushuang said, this long river of time is a tributary of the long river of time in the void area. It was forcibly throttled by the eternal controller with the power of the stalwart, placed here, and then transformed by the eternal controller. In the long river of time, our time will be reversed, and the cultivation base will continue to decrease. From the legendary lord will retreat to the half-step eternal realm, the supreme one. Step by step, and finally return to the ordinary, assimilated into the long river of time next. When the last grey fog statue was born, a legendary lord came here. He wanted to cross the long river of time, but in the end he failed. We have long known the existence of this long river of time, but we have not been able to cross it so far. In the past, it is said that top legendary lords have come in, but there are no rewards. Moreover, the legendary lords have passed the previous level, and the rewards are also very common. The chance in the grey fog statue is also good for the legendary lords and the newly promoted. Legendary lords are useful, but they are useless to those powerful legendary lords, they will naturally not come in. So it is. Yi Tian nodded slightly. It is of no use to the powerful legend realm lords. Those legend realm lords naturally do not need to come in. If they come in, they will occupy the quota and waste time. This is also the reason why Lord Longu did not come in. Only a powerful legendary lord can cross this long river of time. Yi Tian secretly said. He estimated that he would definitely not be able to cross this long river of time, but this long river of time must be considered an opportunity. Otherwise, these half-step legend lords will not stay here. As predicted, in the following days, a famous half-step legendary lord tried to enter this long river of time. Each time he did not wait for a long time. When his cultivation base fell to the legendary lord of transcendence, he returned and began to resume his cultivation. 4. Yi Tian also consulted these half-step legend realm lords, and they also revealed some. In the long river of time, although time will be reversed, in the process, you can clearly understand the eternal power of time, which is helpful for the comprehension of other eternal ways. After all, many eternal ways are mixed with time rules. The long river of time here is the source of everything. If you are in the void area, you cannot enter the long river of time at all, and you will not be able to perceive the existence of the long river of time. Only here will you have such an opportunity. And the half-step legendary realm lords don't care about those eternal Tao. In fact, they all comprehend many eternal Tao of perfection realm. What they care about is complete control of time. Once you have complete control over time, you can use the power of time to become a legendary lord. There are two ways to become the lord of the legendary realm. One is to completely control the time, and the other is to completely control the space. Once the time is controlled, a series of time-related eternal ways can all surpass perfection and reach the legendary level, which is the so-called legendary eternal way. At that time, in the legendary realm, they are all very powerful. But now in the void area, many newly promoted legendary realms do not control time or space, and they forcibly stepped into the legendary realm lords with a legend-level eternal path. At the beginning, the legendary lord who tried to cross the river of time did not control time, otherwise he would not be able to cross the river of time. I haven't even comprehended a single eternal Tao, and it is too far away from the control time. My grey fog eternal Tao has fallen into shackles and is at the peak of entry. Maybe I can use this long river to comprehend the mystery of time, help it break the shackles and be promoted. It is the realm of Shaocheng. 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. Therefore, he is also ready to enter the long river of time. Boom! As soon as he entered the long river of time, the time of this body was forcibly reversed. Even if Yi Tian resisted, he would not be able to resist. He saw scenes from the past, and almost even other cloned bodies were affected. In desperation, he cut off the connection between the duplicated bodies, so that he was not affected. Time is going backwards, and Yi Tian's cultivation is also going backwards. The legendary lord of the realm. The legendary lord of perfection. The legendary lord of the initial realm. When he was about to fall out of the initial state legendary lord, Yi Tian forcibly rushed out from the river of time. At this moment, his cultivation base of copying his body was really fixed in the initial realm legendary lord. If it were other legendary lords, they would have to practice step by step to go back. Although it only took some time, the time was not short, but Yi Tian did not need to cultivate slowly. He directly annihilated this duplicate body, then King Qian, and then changed to a duplicate body. Yi Tian's cloned body left here first, and then returned with a cloned body. Others were a little surprised to see Yi Tian recovering his cultivation so quickly, but they knew that it was Yi Tian's secret, so no one asked. In this way, Yi Tian cultivated in the long river of time almost all the time, constantly comprehending the mystery of time. Finally, on this day, after a breakthrough in time, Yi Tian's Grey Fog Eternal Tao directly broke the shackles and was promoted to the realm of small achievement. At the same time, Yi Tian began to comprehend other eternal things. Hunyuan Eternal Tao, Wansheng Eternal Tao seems to have little to do with time, but time and space extend all Eternal Tao, so control time is more, plus the treasure map and many other opportunities. Yi Tian is in Hunyuan Eternal Tao and everlasting progress on the eternal path. These two eternal realms are about to be promoted to the realm of perfection. Chapter 1722 Leaving the Grey Fog Statue. This day, Yi Tian finally completed the breakthrough, and Hunyuan Tao took the lead to be promoted to the perfect realm, becoming Yi Tian's first eternal realm of perfection realm. At least in eternal Tao, Yi Tian began to close the gap with other top legendary lords of the realm. Many eternity years have passed. Yi Tian's eternal path of eternal life has also broken through to the perfect state. After that, Yi Tian began to specialize in the eternal Tao of Grey Fog. His goal is to cultivate the eternal Tao of Grey Mist to the realm of Dacheng within the Grey Mist stone statue. In that case, his strength will also be improved. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of thousands of eternity years have passed. At this time, after Yi Tian has entered the long river of time countless times, with the help of the long river of time, his grasp of time has reached a very deep state. He can even resist the power of the long river of time for several seconds, and he can guarantee it within a few seconds. Don't be turned back by time. This is already an amazing improvement. Breakthrough, the eternal Tao of Grey Mist has reached the realm of Dacheng. Yi Tian was very excited. The Grey Fog Eternal Tao of the Dacheng realm is much more powerful than the ordinary Eternal Tao of the Perfection realm, and it is almost comparable to the ordinary legendary Eternal Tao. However, it would be too difficult to elevate the Eternal Tao of the Grey Fog to the perfect state. Therefore, Yi Tian didn't expect himself to be able to cultivate the Grey Mist Eternal Tao to the perfect state within the Grey Mist stone statue. Afterwards, Yi Tian tried his best to comprehend, and as much as he could gain, he would gain as much as possible, and he didn't care about more gains. And just like that, the years passed. At this time, there were fewer and fewer legendary lords left inside the Grey Fog statue. Some legendary lords fell into each level, while others left voluntarily and were unwilling to try. If they fell, the treasures they obtained would be lost. However, the half-step legendary realm lords did not leave, and they continued to enter the long river of time again and again. This was a place of great opportunity for them, not for rewards, but only to be able to control more time. After the birth of the Grey Fog statue in Yuanai, the existence time is limited, and now it is getting closer and closer to this time limit. Outside the Grey Fog statue, Lord Longu opened his eyes and sensed the shock of the Grey Fog statue. After tens of thousands of eternity years, the Grey Fog stone statue will escape. I wonder if we can trace its traces this time. 1. Lord Longu murmured. In the blink of an eye, tens of thousands of eternity years have passed. On this day, a legendary lord was kicked out of the Grey Fog statue by CJFI, and Yi Tian was forced to move out from the Grey Fog statue. And in the moment of moving out, Yi Tian annihilated those cloned bodies of his own, leaving only one cloned body. Whoa! A legendary lord of the Holy Land appeared in the void of the Yuanai. And Yi Tian was also here, looking at the Grey Fog stone statue. Suddenly, The gray fog statue moved, and the surrounding time and space began to become unstable. Boom! The long river of time appeared, and the gray fog stone statue escaped into the long river of time. It turns out that the departure of the foggy stone statue is to escape through the long river of time. I thought it was to tear the space away. Yi Tian secretly said. It took a long time to escape through the void area, and there was no way to track it for half a step in the legendary realm. And the lord of the legendary realm, in the long river of time, can't catch up with the gray fog stone statue at all. Whoa whoa! A famous legendary realm lord appeared and entered the long river of time alone, tracking the gray fog stone statue. Then soon, these legendary lords came back one by one, their faces showing loss, obviously not catching up with the gray fog statue. Pity, Lord Longu said regretfully. If you can catch up with the gray fog statue, you will be able to catch up with the gray fog statue again and again in the future, which is equivalent to completely occupying the gray fog statue. However, this attempt still failed. The speed of the gray fog statue is too fast in the long river of time. And any tracking method will be erased by time. Therefore, he can't catch up, and the same is true of other legendary lords. These legendary realm lords did not stay in the Source Sea, and turned around and left the Source Sea. And those legendary lords who had no Holy Land followed Lord Longu back to the Holy Land of the Infinite Sea. After all, the gray stone statue had already escaped, and it would be meaningless to stay here. After these legendary lords and legendary realm lords have all left, the lords of the Holy Peak and the lords of the Ice Letter in the Source Sea space-time territory will dare to speak. Lord Endless, thank you this time. Lord Ice Letter opened the mouth and said. How did you harvest? Yi Tian asked. Lord Bingxin said. No matter what, I can't pass the Grey Fog Bridge, although I didn't get any treasures, but in the Grey Fog Bridge, I gradually realized the mystery of will and innate eternal rules. If I go back if you retreat for another period of time, it should not be a problem to break through to the legendary lord of the initial realm. 1. For Lord Ice Letter, becoming a legendary lord of the initial realm is already her greatest desire. I also gained some gains, and my strength has improved a lot. The Lord of the Holy Peak said. Immediately, Lord Binghan and Lord Shengfeng took their leave and went back to retreat. And Yi Tian also returned to the dark forbidden area. He was going to study the reward obtained from the Grey Fog Stone statue, the blood tissue of the Xeon legendary creature. Among the Grey Fog statues, he did not dare to study. Now that it is out, you can study it with confidence. Yi Tian mainly comprehends the body structure and mysteries of the supreme legendary body. Even if it is only some blood tissue, it also contains all kinds of legendary eternity of that supreme legendary creature. Therefore, such a blood tissue is still full of activity, and its value is unimaginable. I don't know how the Eternal Master did it. Without this bottle, it stands to reason that such a legendary lord creature can definitely recover to its peak state with this blood tissue healing, and it is impossible to fall and die. Such a blood tissue, the legendary realm lord knows about it, and I am afraid that he will come and snatch it from me. Yi Tian muttered. However, he will not expose this treasure. This can be of great help for him to condense to the legendary body in the future, and this blood tissue can also help him comprehend various eternal ways. Time passed slowly. Yi Tian gradually immersed in this blood tissue. Every drop of its blood is an infinite world, containing endless rules and eternal Tao. After comprehending for a long time, Yi Tian discovered that the owner of this blood tissue had completely controlled space and time. Complete control of time or complete control of space can become a legendary lord. If you have complete control, then you have reached the pinnacle among the legendary lords. The next step is to completely control the fusion of time and space, above the timeline and the dimension of space, to become the eternal master over time and space. Although this blood tissue is very small, it can help me a lot, and I hope to use it to cultivate the eternal Tao of Grey Fog to the perfect state. Yi Tian was enlightened. Chapter 1723 Purple Aurora Beast, a time talent at the legendary ancestral level. Yi Tian constantly comprehends this blood tissue, and other cloned bodies are also practicing in closed-door seclusion, such as comprehending that treasure map, which helps to cultivate at the level of the legendary lord of the realm. The years that followed were peaceful and nothing major happened. Yi Tian has been in seclusion and practice like this all the time, and there are many immortal lords in the space-time territory, but such small things can no longer attract Yi Tian's attention. 100,000 eternal years. 500,000 eternal years. 1,000,000 eternal years. 10 million eternal years. During such a long time, the creatures in the origin sea time and space territory have changed batch after batch, and only those eternal realms exist forever. Although many creatures in Yuan have an eternal lifespan, when the number of people erupts, there will still be various wars and killings, like a catastrophe again and again. And Yi Tian didn't stop it, everything followed Yuan's self-development. However, the human race has grown stronger and stronger, and the human race's footsteps have traveled all over the Source Sea, and even appeared in countless time and space in the space-time territory. It has been 10 million eternity years, and my cultivation has improved a lot. Yi Tian muttered. Today, his field of will rules is much stronger than in the past, and it is not too far from the ultimate in the field of will rules. Moreover, his will has also improved a lot in these eternal years, which is equivalent to reaching the later stage of the fifth order will. On the eternal Tao, Yi Tian's progress is also incomparably huge. He has comprehended the 10 eternal ways, all of which have been elevated to the perfect state, all for the purpose of consolidating the foundation. In addition, his Grey Fog Eternal Tao has also been elevated to the perfect state in recent days. Now, although Yi Tian has not reached the realm of Transcendence Legendary Lord, his real strength is not weaker than some powerful Transcendence Legendary Lords. When I reach the pinnacle of the Legendary Lord of the realm, I will have to start attacking the Legendary Lord of the Transcendence. Yi Tian thought to himself. The real No Holy Land also provides 2 opportunities for the Legendary Lords of the realm, one for the will rule domain, and one for the eternal body, but these 2 opportunities only increase the probability a little, and it is impossible to completely guarantee the success of the breakthrough rate. But if it were an ordinary force, such an opportunity would not exist at all. Yi Tian originally thought of quietly cultivating to the pinnacle of the Legendary Lord of the realm, and then relying on the opportunity given by the Holy Land to attack the Legendary Lord of the Transcendence. However, a news came into Yi Tian's ears on this day, which made him a little interested. A special creature appeared in the Purple Aurora. The Purple Aurora region and the Dark Barrier are the 2 major obstacles on the way from the Source Sea to the Boundless Sea, while the Purple Aurora region only makes it difficult to travel and identify the direction. There is almost no danger, and there has never been any creature. But this time, an immortal Lord of Yuan was born in the Purple Aurora region, and a clone was killed by a special purple creature. If it was just one time, it might be that other creatures broke into the Purple Aurora region, which was just a coincidence. But then, a legendary lord also encountered the special purple creature in the Purple Aurora field, and was also killed by the opponent. Nowadays, the Purple Aurora domain has attracted the attention of many legendary lords, and even many legendary lords have come to the Boundless Sea, and many of them are legendary lords of the realm. Within the League of Lords, many immortal lords and legendary lords are here, and Yi Tian is also here, and sits at the top. What happened to the Purple Aurora field recently? Yi Tian asked. At this time, Lord Binghan said, some special purple creatures have appeared in the Purple Aurora region, and there are special races that may migrate from other regions soon. Their intelligence is not very high, but their strength is very strong, and more importantly, they possess extremely powerful time abilities, and even our legendary lords are unable to compete with their time abilities. For example, this kind of creature has the ability to stop time. My previous clone encountered a purple creature, which was directly frozen by time, and then was killed. The clone of Lord Ice Letter was also killed. Yi Tian was a little surprised. Lord Bingxin is now the lord of the initial realm, and his strength is not weak. He can't even compete with the opponent's time ability, and is directly frozen by time, which shows that the strength of the 2 sides is very different. Wisdom is not high, time ability is terrifying. At this time, Yi Tian thought of a possibility. Talent. That kind of purple creature is afraid that it has time talent, and the level of time talent is very high, and the weakest is the time talent of the legendary ancestor level, otherwise it is impossible to have such power. The time talent of the legendary ancestral level, coupled with the strength of the purple creature itself, is comparable to the legendary lord of the perfection realm or the legendary lord of the realm, so that the time of the Lord of Ice Letter can be instantly frozen. For flowers, if it's a time talent at the legendary ancestral level, it will help me a lot. Yi Tian was extremely excited. If he copied a large number of legendary ancestral level time talents, wouldn't he have the opportunity to merge into legendary ancestral time ancestry? This day, Yi Tian sent a duplicate body to the Purple Aurora region. Yi Tian's speed was very fast, and it didn't take too long before he came to the Purple Aurora region. In the void area, a piece of purple formed a sky, and there was the Purple Aurora field, a seemingly endless territory. Wow! Yi Tian entered the Purple Aurora realm and immediately felt the strong pressure and the erosion of power. Only the lords of the eternal realm above the immortal realm can move freely here, and the slightly weaker immortal realm once entered here, like ordinary people. Point 0. For many creatures, the Jedi. And looking around, everything around is a purple light field, and there is nothing and no resources. Swish. Yi Tian used the void step to shuttle continuously here, and at the same time copy the area surrounded by talent, and probe the purple creature. Time passed slowly, during which Yi Tian detected other legendary lords, but did not negotiate with the other party, but staggered. After a long time, Yi Tian finally sensed the existence of a special creature. Race: Purple Aurora Beast. Cultivation talent: Eternal. Strength: Immortal Ancestors. Speed: Immortal Ancestors. Defense: Immortal Ancestors. Time: Legendary Ancestral Fu. It really is a time talent passed down to the ancestral level. Yi Tian immediately copied the opponent's time talent. Soon, the time legend Ancestral Fu was copied successfully. Judging from the aura of this purple Aurora Beast, it should be equivalent to the top legendary lord of the Perfection Realm, and the legendary lord of the Initial Realm is indeed far from an opponent. Yi Tian secretly said. He did not kill the purple Aurora Beast, but followed him silently, trying his best to restrain his breath, and track the opponent with his copy talent. He wants to use this purple Aurora Beast to find other purple Aurora Beasts, so that he doesn't need to search for it by himself. Chapter 1724 Time Constant Gold. In the Purple Aurora realm, the scope of will detection is not very large, even the scope of the Purple Aurora Beast is not large, so Yi Tian tracks this Purple Aurora Beast from a distance, and only tracks it with his copying talent. This Purple Aurora Beast basically perceives not, so I don't know if anyone is following it. At the beginning, Yi Tian didn't find anything, but he was not in a hurry, he had time. Time passed slowly. One day, a legendary realm lord encountered this Purple Aurora Beast. The two sides fought a battle, and Yi Tian did not participate. The Purple Aurora Beast has a strong ability to save lives in places like the Purple Aurora, and is good at escaping. Therefore, this Purple Aurora Beast still escaped. About a few epochs passed, this Purple Aurora Beast seemed to feel bored, and began to quickly shuttle in one direction. Could it be going back? Yi Tian's heart moved. Rotating, 860, he quickly followed. With the legendary eternal skill of Void Step, his speed is many times faster than that of the Purple Aurora Beast, and it will not cause any fluctuations. This Purple Aurora Beast has been shuttled for a long time, and the Purple Aurora region of Yuanai has been shuttled by it, but it is shuttled toward the Purple Aurora region farther away. Obviously, the place where it was originally located is very far from the Source Sea and the Immeasurable Sea, so it has not been discovered for a long time, and now it is afraid that it has migrated to the vicinity, plus some Purple Aurora Beasts like to run around. This was discovered. After a long time, the speed of the Purple Aurora Beast slowed down. This day, Yi Tian's copy talent sensed other Purple Aurora Beasts. Copy 1, copy 1, copy. Yi Tian kept copying the time talents of these Purple Aurora Beasts, and he was extremely excited, because the number of Purple Aurora Beasts was actually quite large, and he definitely hoped to integrate the time talents of the legendary ancestral level. Just when Yi Tian followed the Purple Aurora Beast and was about to approach the Purple Aurora Beast's old nest, a terrifying aura came across the void. He has been found. Escape. Yi Tian made a decision immediately and was about to run away. Although every cloned body can be used as the main body nowadays, so one cloned body is copied to the talent, and the other cloned bodies are copied and replaced one by one, which means that he has obtained these time talents one by one, and he has nothing to lose himself. But he still doesn't want this copy body to fall. He doesn't want to develop a temperament that is not afraid of death. If one day the copy talent becomes difficult to copy the body, once this temper is developed, it will be finished. Therefore, if he could not die, he still did not wish to lose any duplicate body. Boom! A purple ray of light shot from a very far distance, pierced through time and space, smashed all matter, and even the purple aurora field was split into a light path. The power of this attack is already very close to the half-step legendary lord, and the opponent is afraid that it is an invincible existence among the legendary lords of the transcendence. Eternal life. Gray fog is eternal. All kinds of eternal ways are blessed on Yi Tian's body, and various legendary defensive eternal skills are also blessed by a single thought. But even so, Yi Tian knew that he would definitely be severely injured by a single blow, so it would be difficult to escape from the opponent's pursuit. Therefore, Yi Tian motivated a piece of eternal treasure, the Qingshu Bell fragment. This eternal treasure fragment is not very helpful to Yi Tian. Yi Tian almost forgot about it, but now in the crisis of life and death, Yi Tian thought of it, and this replica body just carried this treasure. But it takes time to activate the Qingshu Bell fragments, so Yi Tian needs to block the opponent's blow by himself. Puff! Under the purple light, Yi Tian's eternal Tao was smashed, and many defensive eternal skills were also torn apart, directly penetrating Yi Tian's body. At this moment, Yi Tian was seriously injured. After all, the other party was an almost invincible existence of the Transcendence Legendary Lord, and his strength was at most comparable to the powerful Transcendence Legendary Lord, and the strength gap was still very large. But in the time to endure this blow, Yi Tian had already activated the fragments of Qingshu Bell. The azure seed fragments wrapped Yi Tian's body, tearing the nothingness and leaving. Next moment, a huge purple aurora beast appeared at Yi Tian's location, roaring in anger. It is not good at long-distance shuttle tracking, so it can't catch up with Yi Tian. The other end of the purple aurora, Yi Tian's body appeared, and a small piece of Qingshu Bell was slightly dim. The aura of the fragments of the Qingshu Bell is even weaker. I am afraid that it can only be used a few times before it will be completely scrapped. Yi Tian thought to himself. But it doesn't matter to him. Anyway, this thing is of little value, so it is useful to face the purple aurora beast. If you face other top legendary lords of transcendence or half-step legendary lords, there are no Qingshu Bell fragments at all, and the other party can immediately chase after him. No holy place. Yi Tian was inquiring about the information about the purple aurora beast, and after a long time, he really found it. There is a record of the purple aurora beast in the Holy Land, but it is only a simple record because this kind of creature is really rare. The purple aurora beast is the eternal life of the timeline, and its birthplace will inevitably produce an extremely precious material, time eternal gold. This material is very precious, and even the legendary lords are interested. But what is the specific use, Yi Tian does not know. Perhaps it is possible to cooperate with the Holy Land. Otherwise, as soon as you approach the lair of the purple aurora beast, you will be chased and killed before you can get close, and you will not be able to copy too much time talent. Then you can directly enter the lair of the purple aurora beast, thus replicating the time talent of all the purple aurora beasts. Then, Yi Tian came to look for Lord No Frost. Lord Frost is in retreat, but she still has a clone that is not in retreat, but is practiced outside. At the beginning, Yi Tian sent a message to Lord Wu, and Lord Wushwang said that he didn't have much time. But when Yi Tian mentioned Ziji 5.8 Light Beast, Lord Wufrost appeared. There is no holy place, Yi Tian's residence. When Lord Wushwang came, he immediately asked, Lord Endless, have you found the purple aurora beast? Yi Tian nodded. There is an area between the Origin Sea and the Infinite Sea called the Purple Aurora region, where the purple aurora beast has now appeared. Lord Frost asked earnestly, are you sure it's a purple aurora beast? In the void area, there are many purple creatures, and a purple aurora beast is very rare. I can be sure, Yi Tian assured. Also, I found the location of their lair, but before I got close, I was chased and killed by an invincible purple aurora beast. The place where the aurora beast was born is very likely to have time eternal gold, and perhaps there is time eternal gold there. Lord Frost Free, what is the use of time eternal gold? Chapter 1725 The Terrifying Lord of No Frost. When it comes to time eternal gold, the look of the Frost-Free Lord is completely different. Time eternal gold is an extremely precious treasure. It can help legendary lords understand the mystery of time. If you have a piece of time eternal gold, you can use it to comprehend the eternal Tao involving time, which will help to understand the eternal Tao. Comprehension to the state of perfection, but this is only an effect attached to the time constant gold. Its real use is to build a bridge of time. Frostless Lord introduced. The bridge of time, what's the use? Yi Tian asked. Lord Wushwang looked forward and said, the bridge of time is to build a bridge to connect the long river of time. You have been to the long river of time in the grey fog stone statue before. You should know the effect of the long river of time on us half-step legends. The bridge allows us to directly build a bridge anywhere to connect the long river of time, and then we can enter the long river of time through the bridge of time. Of course, the bridge of time cannot exist forever, and the establishment of the bridge of time requires time constant gold, and maintenance time the bridge also needs time constant gold. If there is enough time constant gold, we half-step eternal realm can stay in the long river of time forever. 29 inches It turned out to be so. Yi Tian understood the usefulness of time eternal gold. For the half-step legend realm lords, many treasures are useless, and they don't care. Perhaps many of the precious treasures in Yi Tian's eyes, the half-step legend realm lords do not look down on them, even the one in his hand. A treasure map, the half-step legend lord will not look at it. However, the time constant gold is enough to make the half-step legend realm lords care. Of course, if it is a piece of time eternal gold, it is meaningless to the half-step legendary realm lord, but if the old nest of the purple aurora beast is found, then it is possible to find a time eternal gold vein. Even if there is only such a small possibility, they will not let it go. Lord Endless, take us there. Lord Frostfree said urgently. It is good. Yi Tian nodded. This time, not only the Lord Wushwang will go, but also some other half-step legendary realms in the true Holy Land. In a short period of time, a total of 8 half-step legend realm lords came. Walk. The 8 half-step legend realm lords followed Yi Tian to the Origin Sea through the space-time ladder, and then set off from the Origin Sea and entered the Purple Light Realm. This was the fastest speed. After all, they are not the lords of the legendary realm, so the speed of the journey is naturally not that fast. If the lord of the legendary realm completely controls the space, he can enter the Source Sea or the Purple Aurora realm from the Infinite Sea with a single thought. If he completely controls the time, he can travel from the long river of time, and the speed is also not slow. However, the half-step legendary realm lord couldn't do this, and could only travel honestly. Time passed slowly, and after a long time, Yi Tian finally came to the lair of the Purple Aurora beast with 8 half-step legendary realm lords. Here, Yi Tian sensed a lot of Purple Aurora beasts, and the half-step legend realm lords also sensed it. Boom! The Purple Aurora beast that was chasing Yi Tian at the beginning appeared and attacked them directly. The terrifying purple light bombarded, but was blocked by the hand of the Frost-Free Lord. Come on! Lord Wushwang waved his hand, and the invincible Purple Aurora beast flew over, and kept shrinking, turned into a mini beast, and entered the hands of Lord Wushwang. So strong. This was the first time Yi Tian saw Lord Wushwang make a move, and he was really shocked. This is a complete slap. Is there such a big difference in strength between the legendary lord of the transcendental realm and the half-step legendary lord? Lord Wumeng saw Yi Tian's shock and couldn't help saying, Lord Endless, Lord Wushwang is enough to rank in the top 3 among the many half-step legends of the true Holy Land, and her strength is many times stronger than ordinary half-step legends. About hundreds of millions of eternity years ago, the Frostless Lord fought against the enemy's 3.5-step legendary lords, severely wounded 2, beheaded 1, and even escaped with serious injuries before a legendary lord. Run away, there are not many such half-step legend lords. Wumeng, don't praise me, my strength is still far behind. Lord Frostless said modestly, go ahead. Several half-step legend lords and Yi Tian did not continue the discussion, but walked towards the lair of the Purple Aurora beast. Along the way, there were constantly Purple Aurora beasts looking for death, and they were all killed by several half-step legend realm lords. Several half-step legend realm lords dare not be interested in these Purple Aurora beasts, so the Purple Aurora beast whose strength reaches detachment has some value, so it was taken away by the Frost-Free Lord. The other Purple Aurora beasts are too weak to kill them. Not a pity either. And Yi Tian is very interested in these Purple Aurora beasts, but is only interested in their time talent. So, Yi Tian kept copying the time talent on them. Unfortunately, there are not many Purple Aurora beasts here. Soon, everyone had arrived at the lair of the Purple Aurora beast. The lair of the Purple Aurora beast is an island. The area is not too large, but there are a lot of resources on it. Lord Wufrost stood on the island, probed for a while, and said, this is not a real lair, it was migrated here. These Purple Aurora beasts should be the losers who failed to compete for territory. They were driven away. The island came to this area. It is impossible to have time for constant gold here. Several half-step legend realm lords are not only not disappointed, but also have inexplicable expectations. Examine it. Lord Umon proposed. Wow. The half-step legendary lord known as Lord Yinmeng grabbed a weak Purple Aurora beast, his eyes turned gray, and he looked at the Purple Aurora beast. The next moment, the Purple Aurora beast stopped moving. After a while, the Purple Aurora beast lost its vitality, and Lord Yinmeng returned to normal. Almost a sliver of time fragments were detected. These Purple Aurora beasts came from this direction. Let's keep looking for them. Lord Yinmeng said. Okay, let's look in this direction. Frostless Lord also nodded. Yi Tian also followed. After all, this is his credit, these half-step legend realm lords will not take him. In this way, they continued to move forward, looking for the real nest location of these Purple Aurora beasts. Time passed slowly. In a blink of an eye, hundreds of thousands of robbery years passed. Finally this day, Yi Tian and others discovered the trace of the Purple Aurora beast again. Chapter 1726 Found Time Constant Gold. It should be not far from the nest of the Purple Aurora beast. Frostless Lord said. At this time, Lord Yinmeng grabbed the purple aurora beast and spied on its memory fragments again. It's really near here, just go a little further in that direction and you'll be there. Lord Yinmeng said. Let's go, Frostless Lord said. A group of people shuttled away, and after a while, they saw a purple continent, an incomparably huge continent. This is the home of the purple aurora beast. Be careful, I feel the breath of the half-step legendary realm. The purple aurora beast clan owns the half-step legendary realm Lord. Lord Frostfree said solemnly. I sensed it too. Lord Wumeng and Lord Yinmeng nodded. They are not at all surprised that the purple aurora beast clan has a half-step legendary realm. After all, a branch has powerful people who can be called invincible legendary lords of the transcendental realm, and it is normal for the headquarters to have a half-step legendary realm. This is also the reason why Frostless Lord and the others have come to 8 half-step legendary realm lords. If there is only one, there is no need to get the purple aurora beast clan. Lord Wushwang and the others sensed the half-step legendary realm of the purple aurora beast family, and the half-step legendary realm of the purple aurora beast family also naturally sensed Lord Wufrost and the others. In the purple aurora realm, a phantom of will appeared, which was the projection of the will of the half-step legendary lord of the purple aurora beast family. Go away. If there is no excess, it is directly expelled. Let's do it directly, the purple aurora beast clan will not discuss with us. Frostless Lord said. Whoa. The 8 half-step legendary realm lords flew directly to the purple continent, and before they flew in, the purple aurora beast clan flew out 3 half-step legendary realm lords. The war has begun. Yi Tian can't participate in such a battle, but he has another task, which is to replicate these time talents. Copy. Yi Tian kept copying the time talents of these purple aurora beasts, and even entered the purple continent to make copies. There are indeed a lot of purple aurora beasts here, so it is enough for him to copy. Soon, there was a purple aurora beast to chase and kill him, and it was still a transcendental purple aurora beast, not weaker than the previous transcendence purple aurora beast. Just then, a ray of light directly smashed the transcendental purple aurora beast to pieces, killing him instantly. Thank you, Lord Frostless. Yi Tian knew that this was Lord Wushwang's shot, otherwise he would really not be able to compete with this transcendental purple aurora beast. Endless Lord, there are still many purple aurora beasts at the level of detachment legend lords on this purple continent, you don't want to go deep. Lord Wufrost reminded. Yi Tian nodded and did not enter anymore. When Lord Frostfree and the others resolved the battle, he went deeper into the purple continent and slowly copied the time talent. Immediately, he concentrated on watching the battle of Lord Frostfree and the others. The battle was almost one-sided. The 3 half-step legendary purple aurora beasts were not the opponents of the 8 half-step legendary lords including the Frostless Lord at all. They were completely beaten, and soon these 3 half-step legendary purple beasts were the aurora beast was seriously injured. Unexpected. A half-step legendary lord level purple aurora beast was frozen into a mass of ice by the Frost-Free Lord, and the ice was quickly shattered, and even the body of the purple aurora beast shattered, turning into a mass of ice. Countless fragments. But this purple aurora beast did not die, and the countless fragments were frozen by the Frost-Free Lord again and turned into countless ice particles. Crush, freeze, 1, crush, freeze, 1. After doing this for dozens of times, the purple aurora beast really fell. It is extremely difficult to separate life and death between half-step legendary realms, but Lord Wufrost can kill a half-step legendary purple aurora beast, which shows how powerful its strength is. Not long after, the other 2 half-step legendary purple aurora beasts also fell one by one. If it is in the boundless sea, it is extremely difficult to kill a half-step legend, because many half-step legend lords have backers behind them. Once in a desperate situation, the legendary lord can come down with a single thought, which is too difficult to kill. But these purple aurora beasts have no backers, only themselves. If the purple aurora beast gave birth to a legendary lord, it would be enough to become a powerful racial force in the void area, otherwise once it encountered today's situation, it would only be reduced to a lamb. Enter. Frostless Lord said. Yi Tian followed the 8 half-step legend lords into the purple continent and started a new round of copying journey. The purpose of the 8 half-step legend lords is very simple, that is, to find the time constant gold. Yi Tian didn't go looking for time eternal gold, he was only the legendary lord of the realm, and he didn't need it at the moment. Besides, he really found the time eternal gold, and he didn't dare to compete with the half-step legendary lords. Of course, the half-step legendary realm order found enough time constant gold, and in the future of the Holy Land, he also hopes to walk on the bridge of time. Yi Tian's speed is very fast. After all, he can copy those time talents in an instant, so in a short time, he will copy all the time talents on this purple continent. Found. Frost-free lords finally found time eternal gold at this time. After Yi Tian got the news, he immediately shuttled over. An underground place has been torn apart, showing a huge underground gap. In this underground gap, wisps of purple rays of light penetrated out, and these purple rays of light contain the power of time. The 8 half-step legend lords did not enter it for the first time, because the time constant gold mine is not an ordinary place. If you don't know the output of this mine, you can't enter it casually. Because there is an extremely powerful King Qian's time power here, it can even corrode their bodies. Sometimes the time dimension of the eternal gold vein is unstable, and if you are not careful, you will fall into the long river of time. In the grey fog stone statue, the long river of time was intercepted, and it could enter or come out. But once you accidentally fall into the river of time, you will not be able to get out. If you can come out casually, wouldn't it be better to ask a legendary lord to throw yourself into the river of time? In that case, the bridge of time would not be so precious. The bridge of time can not only send them into the river of time, but also make the river of time in that place a little stable and safe, and they can exit freely. This is the value of the bridge of time. They don't want to lose a clone due to carelessness. At their level, each avatar is of high value and cannot be easily damaged, otherwise it will take a long time to recondense. Chapter 1727 In the depths of time constant gold, the corpse of the legendary lord. Who will enter the 8 half-step legend lords? At the moment, they are negotiating. At this moment, Yi Tian said, "Let me go in, there is still a clone in my body." Having said that, Yi Tian's second replica body appeared. This second duplicate body was naturally condensed by him just now. Anyway, the price of his duplicate body being condensed is very small. For him today, that price is almost negligible. The 8 half-step legend lords dared not take risks, so he went in and explored. "Lord Endless, do you want to go in?" Lord Frostless was a little surprised. Yi Tian explained, "My clone is a bit special, and the price to pay is not big." Seeing what Yi Tian said, the other half-step legend realm lords agreed. Wow, Yi Tian's cloned body shuttled into the time eternal gold mine, and as soon as he entered here, the power of time was eroding him. However, Yi Tian's life-saving ability is still very strong, so he won't fall so easily. At this moment, the outside world. Yi Tian's other duplicate body projected the situation in the time eternal gold mine at the same time, allowing the 8 half-step legendary realm lords to watch. Go deep, go deep. Soon, Yi Tian went deep into a long distance, and a lot of time eternal gold mine also appeared in front of the 8 half-step legendary lords. This ore vein contains a lot of time constant gold. Frostless Lord said excitedly. The other half-step legend realm lords are also very happy. So much time constant gold is enough to build the bridge of time in the holy place, and there is even extra time constant gold, which can last for a long time. Originally, Yi Tian and the 8 half-step legend realm lords were quite happy. Sudden, Yi Tian saw a long river of disillusionment, like a dream. What greeted him was a pair of huge pupils, like two worlds staring at him. This pair of pupils belonged to a purple aurora beast with an incomparably huge size and unimaginable size. And his arrival seems to have caused some changes. In an instant, a terrifying force erupted, annihilating his body directly. This power stretched out, causing the outside world to change the expressions of the Frost-free Lord and others. Walk. Lord Wushwang escaped with Yi Tian, and the other half-step legendary lords also retreated quickly, but there was still a trace of aftermath, which directly injured the 8 half-step legendary lords. However, Yi Tian's duplicate body was only injured and did not fall, thanks to the support of Lord Wufrost. Outside the Purple Continent, the 8 half-step legendary lords, including Lord Wufrost, had lingering fears. Lord Endless, what happened just now? Lord Frostfree asked hurriedly. Yi Tian frowned and said, I seem to have seen a purple aurora beast that is far larger than other purple aurora beasts. Half of its body seems to be in a long river of time, half of its body seems to be in a special space, and the pair of its pupil, but I don't feel life from it, it should be a corpse. 1 inch. Subsequently, Yi Tian described the specific picture he saw without omitting a little bit. But when he was about to phantom this picture, he collapsed directly. Endless Lord, such a picture cannot be drawn, it should be a violation of the taboo secrets of time and space. And we guess that the purple aurora beast should be a legendary lord. Frostless Lord guessed. What? Lord of the legendary realm. Although Yi Tian had some guesses, he was still very surprised when he was confirmed by Lord Wushwang. We know very little about the lords of the legendary realm, and the situation here is a bit special and must be reported to the lords of the legendary realm. Frostless Lord decided. No holy place. The Frostless Lord came to visit the legendary Lord Longu Lord. At present, the most active lord of the Holy Land is Longu. Wushwang, why did you come to see me? Asked the Lord Longu. We have discovered the time eternal gold vein, said the Frostless Lord. Oh, CJFI, I found the time eternal gold vein. I'm lucky. How about the output? If it is enough to build the bridge of time, I will help you build it. You won't ask me to help build the bridge of time, right? Lord Longu rode. It's not. Frost-free Lord Wei reported. This time, the output of eternal gold veins is very large, but there are special circumstances. We found the body of a legendary lord in it, and it is a purple aurora beast. Half of its body seems to be in the long river of time, half of it is in a special space, and the detonated aura shock has hit us half-step legend lords. This legendary lord is estimated to be extremely terrifying among the legendary lords, otherwise he would not have such power after death. Lord of the legendary realm, purple aurora beast. Lord Longu looked solemn, thinking about something. Go, tell me the location, I'll go over there. Lord Longu said. Yes. Lord Frostfree revealed the location of the purple continent. After Lord Longu knew the location, he stepped into the river of time step by step, walked in the river of time step by step, and quickly walked out of the river of time. And as soon as he walked out, he came directly to the purple continent. I have seen Lord Longu. The 8 half-step legend realm lords said respectfully. And Yi Tian also shouted. It's here, isn't it? Lord Longu murmured. Yes, right there. Lord Frostfree pointed to the location. I feel it, let's go together, I will protect you, don't worry. Lord Longu said. Yes, 8 half-step legend lords, including Yi Tian and Lord Wushwang, followed Lord Longu into the Time Eternal Gold Channel. Unlike the last time he came in, this time Yi Tian did not feel any suppression, as if the place became safe all of a sudden. But he is very clear that this is because Lord Longu has endured the suppression and erosion here by himself. Soon, everyone came to the depths of the Time Eternal Gold Vein. This time constant gold mine is very good, enough to build a bridge of time, and it can last for a long time. Looking back, I will directly bring this mine back to the Holy Land, otherwise if it is slowly mined, other forces will come. Snatch, Lord Longu said. Just follow the advice of Lord Longu. Lord Wushwang and other half-step legendary lords nodded. Finally, everyone came to the place where Yi Tian's copy body was annihilated. Here, everyone saw the corpse of the purple aurora beast. Boom, the terrifying force attacked, but was blocked by Lord Longu. Everyone only saw the endless space-time storm colliding, but they did not feel any danger. It's really the corpse of the legendary lord. Lord Wushwang and Lord Wumong were shocked. At this time, Lord Longu exclaimed, it's really him. Chapter 1728 Attack the Eternal Master Loser, Die. Lord Longu, do you know this purple aurora beast? The Frostless Lord was surprised. Yes, Lord Longu nodded. Immediately, the Lord Longu introduced. This purple aurora beast is very famous, but it is an extremely ancient lord of the legendary realm. It is too far away from now, I am afraid that only some ancient lords of the legendary realm know him. Called the Purple Lord, is the second purple aurora beast in the void area. His strength is very powerful, much stronger than me. I was just a junior in front of him, and I need to look up to him. He controls time, he also controls the space and is located at the pinnacle of the legendary lord. It can be said that as long as the Eternal Master does not kill him, he will hardly die. Then this is. Lord Wushwang looked at the corpse of Lord Ziji with doubts. Could it be that Lord Ziji was killed by the Eternal Master, but why did the Eternal Master kill Ziji Lord? But then, she knew she had guessed wrong. No, no Eternal Master will kill him. Lord Longu shook his head and said, he did not die at the hands of others, but in the process of impacting the Eternal Master. It is very dangerous to attack the Eternal Master. Even if there are many clones, the clones are like the main body, and they can be freely cultivated and let the clones impact the Eternal Controller, but the result is the same. If they fail, both the clones and the main body will fall. No matter where they hide, it is useless, and they will all die. Therefore, those legendary lords who are at the peak all attribute the power of their clones to their main body to attack the Eternal Controller. If they live, they are the Eternal Controller. If he did not appear, many legendary realm lords thought that he had hit the Eternal Controller and fell, and some legendary realm lords believed that he had become the Eternal Controller. But many legendary realms are very clear that if he really became the eternal controller, what would happen to the purple aurora beast? It won't be so miserable. Therefore, I also tend to believe that he has fallen, and now that I see his body, I can be sure. The shock Eternal Master will fall. Yi Tian was surprised. The other half-step legend lords were also a little shocked. This was indeed a secret that they didn't even know. Because it is so dangerous to attack the Eternal Master, unless there is a certain degree of certainty, those legendary lords at the peak will not try it. At present, there are many legendary lords at the peak who have given up the impact, and it is not bad to live like this. At least if you don't offend the Eternal Master, many eternal seas in the void area are invincible existences and it is difficult to kill. Lord Longu said. The other half-step legend realm lords nodded, agreeing with this statement. If you are not sure, there is no need to attack the Eternal Controller. It is also very good to be an invincible existence in the legendary realm. There are not many legendary realm lords who really want to have such a desire for the Eternal Master like the Purple Pole Lord. Sudden, Lord Longu said. This is the place where the Ziji Lord failed to attack the Eternal Master, so this time constant gold ore vein is actually condensed by the Purple Lord's own power, so I can no longer move here, this time let the eternal gold veins stay here. In fact, this is a natural treasure land, a place of great opportunity. Although the Ziji Lord failed to break through, he has created a time and space treasure land, which is conducive to your understanding of time and space. But, once you enter this treasure land, it will not be able to exist forever, the balance of time and space will be broken, and it will slowly collapse, so before it collapses, you have the hope of controlling time or space. If you are lucky, we really have no territory. It is possible that a new legendary lord will be born. It actually helps us to control time and space. Lord Wufrost was extremely shocked, and immediately became excited. In order to prevent the leakage of this treasure land and the leakage of this time-constant gold, you must not disclose the situation here, and even the other half-step legend lords of the true Holy Land, don't mention it to them. When this treasure land collapses, you will return to the Holy Land with Time Hengjin, I will help you build the Bridge of Time, and then let other half-step legendary realms enter it to practice, giving them some time to practice, it can be regarded as making up for them. Lord Longu suggested. Frostless Lord and other half-step legendary realm lords also understand the importance of confidentiality. After all, such a treasure is too precious. Once it is leaked, even other forces will come to snatch it. No one knows if the other half-step legend lords of the true Holy Land will be revealed. Moreover, such a treasured place cannot accommodate too many people. Once there are too many people, it will collapse quickly. For flowers, Lord Endless, you must also keep it a secret. Lord Longu looked at Yi Tian. I'll keep it a secret. Yi Tian nodded. I need to stabilize this place, and then send you to the treasure land. Lord Longu said. Time passed slowly, Lord Longu gradually stabilized the energy here, at least everyone would not be killed by the energy here. The so-called energy shock is that the power of time and space has lost its balance, thus bursting out energy, and why it lost its balance, naturally Yi Tian broke into this place. Otherwise, the balance will not be lost here. But no matter who they are, as long as they come here, they will lose their balance here. This is an unavoidable situation. Okay, the energy has stabilized, I'll send you in. 1. Lord Longu waved his hand, and everyone was wrapped in a force, tearing apart the time and space, and entered a time and space treasure. In the center of this time-space treasure, the corpse of the Purple Lord is still there. And this time-space treasure is divided into two parts, one can understand space, and the other can understand time. Most of the half-step legendary realms came to the area of enlightenment time, but only 2 half-step legendary realms came to the area of enlightenment space. And Lord Longu is also here to comprehend. After all, Lord Ziji's experience of failure to comprehend is also an experience. If he wants to attack the Eternal Controller one day later, the insights here will be useful to him. Moreover, Lord Longu only controls time, not space, so he also wants to comprehend space here. But after controlling time, it is very difficult to control space. Otherwise, it is impossible for many legendary lords to control only time or space, and it is difficult to control space and time at the same time. Yi Tian pondered for a while, thinking about whether to comprehend time or comprehend space. I have copied so many time talents for comprehension time. If they are integrated, they will definitely be able to form legendary time ancestors. In that case, I have a huge advantage in comprehension time. Yi Tian thought to himself. So, he came to the area of comprehension time. At the same time, he began to fuse one of those time talents that he had copied. Chapter 1729 Touch the Control of Time. One after another legendary time ancestral Fu was fused by Yi Tian, and in order to speed up the fusion, Yi Tian began to speed up the time in his mind, prompting the process to be completed earlier. Just like that, time passed slowly. Yi Tian was merging these time talents at the beginning, so he didn't have time to comprehend time, but it was worth it. When his fusion was over, the speed of comprehension would far exceed now. After a long time, Yi Tian integrated a lot of time talents, and finally caused a qualitative change in time talents. This day, when Yi Tian merged another time talent, the time talent finally began to change. Boom! In an instant, Yi Tian's consciousness seemed to have entered the long river of time to roam. This was not an ordinary long river of time, but the long river of time in the void area, which was the source of all the long rivers of time. But this kind of long-term roaming ended soon, and the transformation was completely completed. Immediately, Yi Tian took a look at his time talent. Ancestral Fu of Time, Legendary. Sure enough, Yi Tian's time talent has reached the level of legendary time ancestors. Try the effect. Yi Tian began to practice and enlighten for the first time in the time enlightenment area. Countless perceptions came in, making Yi Tian's perception of time improve at an incredible speed. This feeling has never been there before. I have to say, the legendary time ancestor is indeed too powerful. Maybe, I can directly control the time here. Yi Tian thought to himself. Take control of your time. What is this concept? It means that the future has the qualification to enter the legendary lord. Of course, he also knew very well that if he wanted to control time, it would not be so easy. After all, his time attainments were far inferior to those of the half-step legendary realm lords. These half-step legend lords have hope of controlling time in such a treasure land because they are not too far away from controlling time, and he almost starts from 10, while half-step legend lord starts from 70 or 80. So, the difficulty is not the same. However, Yi Tian is still very confident in himself, at least he has hope to improve to the level close to controlling time. In the years to come, do your best to understand the time. Yi Tian muttered. Long years have passed. An eternal year. 2 eternal years. This treasure land is constantly collapsing with the passage of time, and the effect is getting slower and slower. The 8 half-step legend lords, Longu lords and Yi Tian are all trying their best to understand. After all, such an opportunity may only be like this once. The peak legend lord failed to attack the eternal master, and even if there is, it is impossible to find it at ordinary times. Yi Tian's only weakness is that his cultivation is too low. If he is a half-step legendary realm lord, then the benefits of enlightenment will be even higher. Finally, 200 eternal years have passed. At this time, Lord Longu reminded, this place can no longer be maintained, you should go out, otherwise once you start here, the power that erupts is comparable to the full blow of the top legendary lord, and even I will be seriously injured. 1 inch. Go out. A half-step legend realm lord stopped cultivating, and Yi Tian also went out with them. Lord Longu did not stay, and went out directly. After waiting for decades, this treasure land completely collapsed. The terrifying force almost destroyed this purple continent, but the time constant gold was not destroyed. Wow! Lord Longu directly grabbed this time eternal gold vein with one hand, and immediately crossed the river of time in one step, and soon returned to the Holy Land. And the half-step legend lords such as the Frost-Free Lord began to chat about the harvest here. I have gained a lot, although I still have no hope of stepping into the legendary lord, but at least my strength has increased a lot. I'm still a little short of being able to completely control the time, and I'm afraid that I don't know how many years it will take, and I will never be able to control it. Lord Number Frost, you are proficient in space, how have you gained? The other half-step legend realm lords looked at the Frostless Lord, a little curious. Lord Wufrost is one of the 2 half-step legend lords who have been enlightened in the space area, and she is also attacking the control space. Her use of space in the way of ice has reached such a terrifying level that the power of ice can even shatter space, so she chose to try to control space. Of course, it doesn't mean that she has poor control over time, but it's just not as good as space. Lord Wushwang said lightly, I have gained a lot, and I have touched the threshold of controlling space. Within 100 million eternity years, I am sure to make a breakthrough. Congratulations to the Frostless Lord. Congratulations to the Frostless Lord. Congratulations Lord Frostless. 1 inch. A half-step legendary realm lord congratulated. 100 million eternal years seems like a long time, but in fact, it is only a short period of time for these half-step legend lords. Moreover, once the bridge of time is established in the Holy Land, this time can be shortened. After a long time, the Frost-Free Lord can completely control the space, and thus easily hit the legendary realm. Did no one ask me? Yi Tian stood there, thinking in his heart. These half-step legend realm lords don't think his harvest is big at all, so they don't ask, so as not to hit Yi Tian. But in fact, Yi Tian's progress far surpassed these half-step legend realm lords. He is also about to reach the threshold of controlling time. If 99% is compared to reaching the time threshold, then Yi Tian has reached 98% now, and only the last 2% is left. But even if there is only 2% left, it will take a long time for Yi Tian to completely control it. However, his realm is here, and in the future, he can easily cultivate to the legendary level when he understands and cultivates the eternal way that involves time. Once he has mastered a large number of legendary eternal Tao, how terrifying the strength will be. Therefore, he is the biggest beneficiary of this opportunity. Let's go back, there is no more value here. Frostless Lord said. Walk. Yi Tian shuttled in the direction of Yuanai. This time, these 8 half-step legendary realm lords ignored Yi Tian's speed, directly abandoned Yi Tian, and left. No holy place. Lord Longu started to build the Bridge of Time. After hearing the news, many legendary lords appeared, all of whom wanted to watch this scene. And the ancient half-step legend lord who disappeared for a long time also appeared. After all, the Bridge of Time is also a big opportunity for them. Among the legendary lords watching, Yi Tian was one of them. Just as Lord Longu prepared the materials and was about to build the Bridge of Time, a voice came from the void. Longu, where did you really get so much time eternal gold from the Holy Land? You dare to build the Bridge of Time. Chapter 1730 Wei Xinglu, the mortal enemy of the Holy Land. Who is it? There are many legendary lords in the Holy Land who are all puzzled. The person who spoke is obviously not a powerhouse of the Holy Land, or else they would not use the title of the Holy Land. And here is the headquarters of the Holy Land, and outsiders dare to break in. Tear, the long river of time appeared, and a phantom appeared. This is astonishingly because a legendary realm lord crossed the river of time with his incarnation and came to the real Holy Land. Bo Xing, it's you are not welcome here. Long Ji Yu said coldly. Ha ha ha, I heard that you really want to build the Bridge of Time in the Holy Land, so come and have a look, can't old friends come to see it? Wei Xing laughed. It's him. A lot of legendary lords who really have no holy place have recognized it. The Lord of Stupid Star, the Lord of the legendary realm, controls the existence of time. The Lord of Stupid Stars is the deadly enemy of true no Holy Land, the legendary Lord of the Boundless Sea and Strange Star Tower. There are only 2 legendary lords of the Stupid Star Tower, and their strength is far less than that of the true Holy Land, but the Stupid Star Tower is united with several legendary forces, up and formed an alliance. Therefore, even if there is no holy place, they don't dare to tear their face directly with the Bazaar Star building, otherwise it is very likely that they will attack the entire alliance behind the Bazaar Star Tower. Many 29 years ago, during the Battle of Infinite Seas, there were several legendary realm lords who fell in the Holy Land. Those several legendary realm lords died in battle, including their main body and their clones, and died completely. One of them fell into the hands of the Lord of Stupid Star and several other legendary realm lords, so Lord Longu hated the Lord of Stupid Star very much. Lord Stupid Star, to see the fun, just look at the real body, and even the clone does not dare to come. Lord Longu sarcastically said. Hey, I really don't dare, you really have so many powerful people in the Holy Land. If I come here, I'm afraid I won't be able to leave. The landlord of the Strange Star said with self-knowledge. Roll. Lord Longu snorted coldly. The river of time oscillated, and the avatar of the Lord of Strange Star shattered directly. Infinite Sea, Strange Star Tower. The Lord of Stupid Star was not angry when he saw that his incarnation had been destroyed. The Holy Land is really about to build the Bridge of Time. If it is really built, maybe there will be another legendary realm lord, which is not good for our Stupid Star Tower. The Stupid Star Lord murmured. But he couldn't stop it, and he couldn't convince the entire alliance to fight the Holy Land. After all, the last war, the entire alliance also suffered heavy losses. The main reason is that so many legendary realm lords have fallen. Now many legendary realm lords are afraid and dare not fight again, for fear that the next person to die will be himself. After all, no one expected that the war would be so tragic, and even the lords of the legendary realm were able to die so much. It also takes a lot of time to maintain the Bridge of Time, and perhaps even a legendary lord can't be born without a holy place. The host of Wei Xing consoled himself. The incarnation of the Lord of the Stars was destroyed, and the Lord Longu couldn't see the people he hated, so he continued to build the Bridge of Time. Wow! The long river of time emerged, and Lord Longu took out a lot of materials, of which the main material was naturally time eternal gold. A large number of materials were combined with time constant finance, and gradually turned into a purple bridge under the refining of Lord Longu. This bridge was built under the long river of time, and gradually stabilized the long river of time in that area, and the other end was located on the side of the Holy Land. Next, Lord Longu built the Temple of Time on the side of the Bridge of Time as the entrance to the Bridge of Time. After a long time, the Bridge of Time was completely built. After the Bridge of Time was completed, the Lord Longu announced, "When the Bridge of Time is completed, all the lords of the half-step legendary realm can practice for 100 million eternal years in the long river of time, and the legendary lords under the half-step legendary realm do not need to enter." Those legendary lords of transcendence were very disappointed after hearing it, but they also felt that it was normal, because only half-step legendary lords could gain a lot of benefits over time, while legendary lords of transcendence could actually obtain few benefits. The Bridge of Time needs to bless the half-step legendary lord, so the more legendary lords enter, the more time constant gold is consumed. Therefore, it is impossible for all the legendary lords to enter, and it is only limited to the half-step legendary lord. Soon, a half-step legend lord passed the Bridge of Time, entered the long river of time, and began their cultivation. Yi Tian also wanted to enter the long river of time, but he was a legendary lord of the realm. If he entered the long river of time, the other people in the Holy Land would definitely not accept it, so it was impossible for the Lord Longu to let him in. Yi Tian doesn't think there is anything, he has already gained enough benefits, and when he enters the half-step legend realm, he must have already controlled the time. The next step is to practice more Eternal Tao and cultivate it to the legendary Eternal Tao level. Yi Tian secretly said, "Grey Mist Eternal Tao is very powerful, and it is a bit difficult to enter the legendary level, because it involves not only time, but also space, so it must have some achievements in the control of space before it can be promoted to the legendary level." Therefore, Yi Tian specifically looked for those Eternal Taos that involved more time. Such as Wuan Eternal Tao, Evergreen Eternal Tao, Eternal Tao, Indestructible Eternal Tao. These Eternal Tao are not weak, and there is a corresponding Eternal Tao cultivation place in the Holy Land, and there is even a special Eternal Treasure for the legendary Lord to comprehend and cultivate, but the Eternal Treasure cannot be taken away. It can be said that Yi Tian has no shortage of places to comprehend the Eternal Tao. With the passage of time, Yi Tian comprehends more and more eternal ways, and he is also handy in controlling time. After thousands of eternal years, Yi Tian's Eternal Tao of myriad lives took the lead in breaking through to the ranks of legendary Eternal Tao 873 and became his first legendary Eternal Tao. After that, the other Eternal Tao also broke through to the legendary level one by one, and Yi Tian's strength became stronger and stronger. At this time, Yi Tian faced the purple Aurora beast that is invincible beyond the realm of detachment. In addition to cultivating these eternal ways, Yi Tian also has a goal, that is, to raise his cultivation to the pinnacle of the legendary lord of the realm as soon as possible, to cultivate the field of will rules to the peak, so as to attack the world of will rules. In this way, 3 million eternity years have passed in a flash. One day, a big event came out of the Holy Land. After cultivating with the help of a long river of time, the Frost-Free Lord took control of the space in advance. It stands to reason that Lord Wushwang cultivates to control space, not time. In the long river of time, he cannot control space, but the purpose of Lord Wushwang entering the long river of time is not to understand time, but to use space to fight time, from the confrontation, tempering own control space. In this way, the time can be shortened. But this method can only be done by being infinitely close to the control space, otherwise it is courting death. However, after controlling the space, it is still very dangerous to attack the Lord of the legendary realm, mainly due to external factors. Therefore, Lord Longu notified the other legendary lords of True No Holy Land to protect the law of the Lord of Frostless. Chapter 1731 The Frostless Lord enters the legendary realm. No holy place. Legendary realm Longu, legendary realm Lord Tengju, legendary realm Lord Wanghe, legendary realm Lord Hemu, legendary realm Lord Zhangguang. These 5 legendary realm lords appeared, protecting the law for the Frost-Free Lord. Although there are more than 5 legendary realm lords in No Holy Land, it is not necessary for all legendary realm lords to come to protect the law. Moreover, when the Frostless Lord attacks the legendary lord, there is not necessarily a legendary lord to make trouble. "No Frost, are you ready?" asked the Lord Longu. "Ready," said the Frostless Lord. Then let's get started. Lord Longu and the others entered the empty sea with Lord Frostless. The sky and sea represent space, and the long river of time represents time. In fact, Konghai and Time River are in the same place, but they are in two areas. Some people put Konghai and Time River together, comparing them to Time and Space River, but in fact, in the eyes of the legendary lords, they are still separate. However, at the end of the long river of time and the end of the empty sea, the two merged into one place. If the peak legendary realm lord mainly attacks the eternal controller, he needs to go to the end of the long river of time and the empty sea. For example, the treasure land that Yi Tian entered in the depths of the time eternal gold mine before was a treasure land formed where the empty sea and the long river of time converged. If the half-step legendary lord attacks the legendary lord, he will inevitably enter the empty sea or the river of time, while the frostless lord controls the space, so he will attack the legendary lord in the empty sea. Whoa. The 5 legendary lords and the frost-free lords all entered the empty sea, surrounded by endless space power, and the endless space squeezed. It is difficult to stay here for a long time, just like the half-step legend lord cannot stay for a long time in the long river. At this time, the 5 legendary lords protected this area, allowing the frost-free lord to attack with peace of mind. No Frost, rest assured to break through, we will not let other legendary lords disturb you, said the Longu lord. With 5 legendary lords protecting the law, the frost-free lord is also very calm and does not worry about anything. Immediately, she began to attack the legendary lord. Controlling the space can also control the power here, breaking the shackles in the dark through the power of the sea, thus turning into the incarnation of space, and completely integrating itself with the space. Only in this way can he be promoted to the lord of the legendary realm. Without entering the space, there is no way to break the shackles, and there is no way to be promoted to the legendary lord. Boom! Lord Wushwang controlled the space here, and the endless space power poured into his body, and his body gradually became one with the space, impacting the shackles in the dark. The 5 legendary lords don't have to worry about anything in front of them, because even if the enemy comes to interrupt the breakthrough, it is impossible for them to come over now. It doesn't make any sense to interrupt now. The best time to truly break is when the Frost-Free Lord and the Space Force are completely united, and at the moment when they become the incarnation of space. Once interrupted, the Frost Lord will be backlashed by the sea, although it will not fall, but once it is interrupted, it will not fall. After the backlash, it will be somewhat difficult to attack the legendary Lord again in the future. Time passed slowly, the Lord of Frost was getting closer and closer to becoming a space incarnation, and the breath on his body became stronger and stronger. At this time, the 5 Legend Realm Lords began to look solemn, constantly spying around, lest a large number of Legend Realm Lords invade here. After another period of time, the Frost-Free Lord broke through to the most critical time and space. Boom! Lord Wufrost swallowed the infinite space in an instant, his body was spatialized, and the breath of a legendary lord began to permeate his body. At this moment, an arrow came through, ignoring the power of Konghai. It's the stupefying arrow of the Lord of Stupefying Stars. The expressions of the 5 legendary lords changed. Just when Wei Xingjian was about to ignore everything and attack the body of Lord Wufrost, Lord Jingguang sacrificed an eternal treasure, Wuguang Shield. Bang! The lightless shield bounced the staggering star arrow, preventing the attack of the stupefying Star Lord. In the next instant, Lord Wushwang completely broke through and became the Lord of the legendary realm, and a powerful breath permeated out. Call out! The stupid star arrow disappeared, and the voice of the stupid Star Lord came. Hey, you are lucky. The 5 legendary lords did not go after them, so it was difficult to really kill the Star Lord. Zhengguang, thanks to your lightless shield, if it weren't for the eternal characteristics of the lightless shield, which is irresistible, it would be really difficult for us to stop the bewitching star's arrows. Lord Longu said. Lord Jingguang said. At the beginning, Lord Stupid Star used the Stupid Star Arrow to shoot a legendary lord of our true holy land, so I tried my best to get the lightless shield. Otherwise, we would avoid it by ourselves. The staggering star arrow is okay, but it is a bit difficult to block the staggering star arrow, unless it is the Lord of the Peak Legend realm who can block the staggering star arrow. The pinnacle of legend. This is the pinnacle of a legendary lord. There is no such legendary lord in the Holy Land, and there is only one such legendary lord in the entire boundless sea. If there is a peak legend realm lord in the real holy place, it is almost an invincible existence among the legendary realm lords, who would dare to provoke the real holy place. It is a pity that it is too difficult to give birth to a peak legend realm lord. There are not many peak legend realm lords in the entire void area, many eternal seas. At this time, the Frost-Free Lord also basically stabilized his realm. Quote. Congratulations to the Frostless Lord on his entry to the Legendary Lord. Congratulations to the Frostless Lord for entering the Legendary Lord. Congratulations to the Frostless Lord for entering the Legendary Lord. Ha 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 ha, we really have another Legendary Lord in the Holy Land, and the strength has grown stronger. The 5 Legendary Lords said excitedly. Lord Wushwang also said gratefully, thank you to the 5 supporters, otherwise Wushwang would be interrupted by Qian Zhaohao, Lord Stupid Star. This is what it should be. Let's go, we will go back to you to hold a big banquet, and let the entire Boundless really have no Holy Land to give birth to a Lord of the Realm. Lord Longu said. Subsequently, they returned to the Holy Land to announce the news. Immediately, the countless members of the true Holy Land were extremely excited, and the many forces in the Boundless Sea were also extremely shocked. Infinite Sea has not had a Legendary Lord for a long time, but now one has been born. Lord Wufrost has broken through to the Legendary Lord, so fast. After Yi Tian found out, he sighed and said long. As soon as he entered the Legendary Realm, the identity and status of the Wushwang Lord in the real Holy Land were completely different. They were already on an equal footing with the Dragon Ancient Lords, and they were the highest level in the real Holy Land. It's time for me to work hard, and strive to break through to the realm of detached Legendary Lords as soon as possible. Yi Tian muttered. Chapter 1732 Indus Fire Spirit Leaf. Yi Tian continued to retreat and cultivate to improve his own will rule field. Finally on this day, the domain of his will rules has been elevated to the pinnacle of the Legendary Lord of the domain realm. If he wants to improve again, he must transform the field of rules of will and be promoted to the world of rules of will, which is also one of the 2 necessary conditions for impacting the Legendary Lord of Transcendence. Impacting the world of will rules has little to do with controlling time, so Yi Tian couldn't easily transform the will rules field. Therefore, he still needs to take advantage of some opportunities. And there is no holy place to give every member who has cultivated to the pinnacle of the Legendary Lord of the Realm a chance, and Yi Tian can also get such a chance. So, he immediately applied for the opportunity to the Holy Land. Soon, holy shit, I agree. Lord Endless, you can enter the place of opportunity controlled by the Holy Land, Wudong Cave Heaven Realm. Lord Wumeng came to inform Yi Tian. Thank you. Yi Tian thanked. The Wudong Cave Heaven Realm is a treasure that is truly a holy place, which helps the Legendary Lords of the realm to understand the will rules the world. Of course, it is not necessary to transform the field of rules of will into the world of rules of will, but for all Legendary Lords of the realm who enter the Wu 873 Tongdong Heaven Realm, there is basically a 10% chance of achieving a breakthrough. The probability of 10% may not be high, but in fact, for many Legendary Lords of the realm, this is already a high probability. The Wudong Cave Heaven Realm is located in the Infinite Sea. There are 3.5-step Legendary Realm Lords in charge, of course, the clones. Even if they are invaded, the loss will not be too great. At this moment, Yi Tian's application has been approved, he does not need any credentials, he can directly enter the Wudong Cave Heaven Realm, and the 3 half-step Legendary Realm Lords will not stop Yi Tian. Soon, Yi Tian came to the Wudong Cave Heaven Realm in the Infinite Sea. In the void of the huge fire-red space gate, there were 3 ancient temples floating, and the clones of the 3 half-step Legendary Lords sat here. Almost all of them are rotated here, but none of the 3 half-step Legendary Lords will be missing. This also shows the importance of Wudong Cave Heavenly Realm to Junwu Holy Land. After all, there will be countless Legendary Lords here who have comprehended the rules of will in the world, and most of them eventually become Transcendental Legendary Lords. Without this treasure, the number of Transcendental Legendary Lords of the true No Holy Land (CJFI) would be much smaller. Yi Tian passed through the entrance gate of Wudong Cave Heaven Realm and entered Wudong Cave Heaven Realm. The entire Wudong Cave Heaven Realm is a fiery red earth and void. At this time, there are about 18 Legendary Lords of the realm here to comprehend and practice. There is no time limit for comprehension and cultivation here, but the longer the cultivation time is, if there is no breakthrough, it is almost impossible to break through later, so if the breakthrough is impossible, the Legendary Lord of the realm will also leave here and will not stay here for too long. The reason why Wudong Dong Tianji can help the Legendary Lord of the realm to understand the will rules the world is because of the Wudong Fire Spirit Tree. The Indus Fire Spirit Tree is a very special sacred tree, located in the endless layer of time and space, similar to the eternal treasure, an untouchable existence. But the sycamore fire spirit tree will drop out a sycamore fire spirit leaf every eternity, and this sycamore fire spirit leaf cannot exist for too long, but it can perfectly integrate people's will and rules to create a rule of heaven and earth comes out. Therefore, when the fire spirit leaves of the phoenix tree fall, one of the legendary lords in the extreme realm can use the fire spirit leaves of the phoenix tree to comprehend and practice, so as to comprehend the will rules the world. An eternal year is one piece, and there are not many legendary lords who can reach the pinnacle of the realm, so it is enough for the legendary lords of the realm to allocate. Basically, if a legendary lord has comprehended 1,000 pieces and has not yet comprehended, the possibility of comprehension is not too great. Of course, many legendary lords of the realm will wait for a long time, and they will choose to give up until 10,000 pieces have not broken through. At this time, there are only 19 legendary lords of the extreme realm, so if they are allocated, 19 eternal years will be enough for Etn to be allocated a fire leaf of the phoenix tree, and other legendary lords of the realm will not snatch it from Etn. Of course, without the help of the fire spirit leaves of the parasol tree, comprehending the fire spirit tree of the parasol tree has a similar effect, but the effect is much worse. The sycamore fire spirit tree was surrounded by a void. Etn came here and began to comprehend silently, waiting for the arrival of the sycamore fire spirit leaf that belonged to him. Lord Endless, you are here, let's discuss, which number of Indus fire spirit leaves will belong to you. I have already learned a lot of fire spirit leaves of the phoenix tree, so I'm not in a hurry for the time being. It's okay to let the Endless Lord comprehend first. After some discussion, from now on, the 9th sycamore fire spirit leaf will return to Etn. Thank you all, Etn thanked. In the blink of an eye, 9 eternal years have passed. This day, another sycamore fire spirit leaf floated out from the sycamore fire spirit tree. Lord Endless, it's your turn. The legendary lord of the extreme realm in other fields said. Etn nodded, and immediately led the fire spirit leaf of the phoenix tree to merge his own will with the rules. Boom, the two began to fuse together, and began to transform from the field of will rules to the world of will rules. At the same time, Etn is also using the treasure obtained by the grey fog stone statue to assist in his enlightenment, because that treasure also has the evolution of the world of rules of will, but that treasure map only promotes the field of rules of will to the world of rules of will. The process is revealed, instead of using Etn's own will and rules. But if the two are combined, it will be of great help to Etn. Before you know it, the fire spirit leaves of the phoenix tree are exhausted. But this is still, Etn has reached the threshold of the world of will rules. If there are a few more sycamore fire spirit leaves, I will definitely be able to break through. Etn is full of self-confidence. In this way, Etn comprehends the Indus fire spirit tree while comprehending the mysterious treasure map, silently waiting for his own Indus fire spirit leaf. After more than 10 eternity years passed, Etn obtained another piece of Indus fire spirit leaf, and used his comprehension will to rule the world again. Gradually, dozens of eternal years passed. This day, Etn began to comprehend his 5th sycamore fire spirit leaf. When he was halfway through his comprehension, Etn's comprehension accumulated to the extreme, causing a qualitative change. Boom, the field of rules of will has begun to transform into the world of rules of will. And this scene completely shocked the legendary lords of the extreme realm. Chapter 1733 Supreme Legendary Body, 3 Treasures. The Endless Lord has broken through. He just realized the 5 fire spirit leaves of the parasol tree. I have comprehended more than 3,000 Indus fire spirit leaves, and I haven't made a breakthrough yet. The Endless Lord has only come here for such a short time. After only comprehending 5 Indus fire spirit leaves, I have broken through. It's too shocking. Perhaps the Endless Lord himself is about to break through, and now he has broken through after a little comprehension. It should be like this. No matter what, these legendary lords of the realm are very envious of Etn at this moment, looking forward to having such a day. With the passage of time, Etn's field of will rules gradually turned into the world of will rules. The field of rules of will is far from being compared with the world of rules of will. The field of rules of will can only control all the rules in the field, while the world of rules of will can be modified and reshaped to a higher level. Will rules heaven and earth can easily crush the field of will rules. Wherever the body goes, where is his world? One thought can change everything in that day. One thought can change an ordinary place into a treasure land, modify the rules of that place. But the biggest role of the rules of will is to impact the legendary Lord of Detachment and enhance the combat power, and the other are incidental effects. With the rules of the will, as long as you condense the legendary body, you can break through to the transcendental legend lord realm. Yi Tian thought to himself. Comparatively speaking, it is easier to condense the heaven and earth under the rules of will, but it is very difficult to condense the legendary body. Many legendary lords in the realm have condensed the will to rule the world, but they have never been able to condense the legendary body. There are also many such legendary lords. They are called half-step detachment legendary lords. Yi Tian has obtained the blood tissue of the supreme legendary body creature, and it is still active blood tissue. If it is to condense the ordinary legendary body, it is really not difficult for him. But he doesn't despise the ordinary legendary body. After all, the legendary body affects the combat power, and even affects the level of the legendary lord. If the lord of the peak legend realm, coupled with the supreme legend body, all other aspects are also promoted to the peak realm, it is really almost invincible. But he is also very clear that it is extremely difficult to condense the supreme legendary body, and relying on the active blood tissue of the supreme legendary body creature is far from being able to help him condense the supreme legendary body, and can only make him have enough of the supreme legendary body. Understanding. For the next period of time, Yi Tian has been studying the supreme legendary body, but the progress is slow and there is not much gain. It seems that it is impossible to study silently by yourself, and you must ask others for advice. Yi Tian thought of Lord Wushwang, but Lord Wushwang has now broken through to the realm of a legendary lord. I wonder if he would like to see him. But he still wanted to try. So, he summoned the Lord Wufrost for advice. Soon after, Lord Wufrost replied to Yi Tian and asked him to go to her palace. There is no holy place, no frost palace. Yi Tian came here without any obstruction, and came directly to Lord Wushwang's palace. I have seen Lord Frostless. Yi Tian said respectfully. Lord Endless, your cultivation speed is really fast enough. You have gathered the will to rule the world so quickly. Wouldn't you come here to ask me to condense the legendary body? Lord Wushwang said with a smile. I can't hide it from Lord Wushwang, that's what I thought. Yi Tian said truthfully, I want to condense the legendary body of the highest, so I came to ask Lord Wushwang for advice. What, you want to condense to the legendary body? The Frostless Lord was extremely surprised. Yes. Yi Tian nodded. Do you know how difficult it is to condense the legendary body? Asked the Frostless Lord. I know. Yi Tian nodded, and immediately took out his share of the active blood tissue. I have a chance. I got this chance at the Grey Fog Stone statue last time, so I want to try to condense the supreme legendary body. He took out this active blood tissue, but he was not afraid of the greed of the Frost-Free Lord, because the legendary lord really did not necessarily like this thing. The blood tissue of the supreme legendary creature also has activity. This should be the handwriting of the eternal controller. For the legendary lord of the realm, it is indeed a priceless treasure. Lord Frostfree commented. However, it can't make you condense to the high legendary body. 1. Frostless Lord is still not optimistic about Yi Tian. It is not that the blood tissue value is not high enough, but no matter how high the value is, it is impossible for Yi Tian to condense to a high legendary body because the conditions are insufficient. Also ask Lord Frostfree for advice. Yi Tian asked. Lord Wushwang said slowly, do you know that among the many eternal seas in the void region, who can condense the supreme legendary body? I don't know. Yi Tian shook his head. Children of the eternal masters. The Frostless Lord revealed. The eternal masters can help their children to condense the supreme legendary body when they attack the transcendental legendary lord. Because condensing the supreme legendary body not only needs to deal with the supreme legendary, there is enough understanding of the body, and 3 extremely rare materials are needed, and these 3 materials are extremely rare. For flowers, the first one is time huju. The second is empty sea gravel. 1. The third type is the ancient leaves of time and space. Yi Tian did not know any of these 3 treasures, nor had he heard much about them. At this time, Lord Wushwang smiled and said, are you trying to say that you don't know these 3 treasures? Well, let me tell you, first of all, there are no such 3 treasures in the Holy Land, so you can't help. There is really no holy place, not even our legendary lords. There are no lords of the legendary realm. Yi Tian immediately understood the rarity of these 3 things. Lord Wushwang began to introduce. The time river beads come from the long river of time, and the long river of time will not give birth to items. There is all the power of time, but if the eternal masters fight in the long river of time, it is very likely that a certain piece of time will be lost. The time force of the long river condenses and compresses to produce some kind of qualitative change. After endless years, it is possible to give birth to the time river beads. As for the empty sea gravel, it was born in the empty sea, and it was born in a similar way to the time river beads. The time river beads, I don't know where there are, but I know where there are empty sea gravels. Frostless Lord said. Where is the time grit? Yi Tian asked hastily. Lord Wushwang said. Buxinglu, the lord of the stupefying star in the stupendous star tower, the treasure, the empty sea sand treasure in the stupefying arrow, makes this eternal treasure extremely terrifying, and the empty sea gravel he merged into is definitely more than 1 grain, specifically how much is clear, so there may still be empty sea gravel. Yi Tian nodded secretly, indicating that he knew. As for the ancient leaves of time and space, I only know one name, and the others are not clear. After Lord Wushwang said this, he asked Yi Tian again, you know how difficult it is to condense to a high legendary body, do you still want to continue to condense? Want. Yi Tian replied. Lord Wushwang was silent for a while, and then immediately suggested, maybe you go to a place, it is possible to find these 3 treasures or their news. G. Chapter 1734 Time Firm, News of Time River Pearl. Where is it? Yi Tian asked. The Time Merchant. Frostless Lord said. Time Firm. Yi Tian didn't know much about this firm, so he waited for the introduction from Lord Wushwang. Lord Wushwang said. The time business is a business established by an eternal master. Of course, this is a rumor, but many forces have acquiesced, because a peak legend lord who offended the time business a long time ago has been silent for a long time. Wu Shi was killed, therefore, the eternal controller is estimated to be true. But now, it is not clear which timeline the eternal controller is in, but even in the distant future timeline, he will still be with the other party after all. I have come across that if you really offend the time firm, the future will definitely not end well, so the authority of the time firm in the many eternal seas in the void area is still very high, and there is no legend that the lord of the realm will offend the time firm. There are many eternal seas, so if you go to the time company, if you are lucky, you may find those 3 treasures. Thank you Lord Frostless for your guidance. Yi Tian thanked. Afterwards, he left the Holy Land and was about to go to the time firm. Time merchants are distributed in many eternal seas, but those weak eternal seas do not have branches of time merchants, because time merchants walk on high-end routes, and the items traded are at least at the level of legendary lords. Some weak eternal seas do not even have many legendary lords, so there is no need to establish a branch at all. And Immeasurable Sea is still very powerful, so it has a branch of a time firm. Soon, Yi Tian came to the time firm. The time business is not built on the limitless islands, but floating on the original energy ocean of the limitless seas. The time company is very large, and Yi Tian came to the time company and found that the time company was formed by combining various eternal treasures. A branch is actually constructed by superimposing eternal treasures, which shows how rich and powerful the time business is. Yi Tian entered the time business and saw many legendary lords. Most of the customers here are from the 2 levels of the legendary lords of the realm and the transcendence. The legendary lords with low cultivation base did not have enough financial resources to buy treasures here. Therefore, there are very few legendary lords under the legendary lords of the realm, and the treasures needed by the half-step legendary lords. They are also very rare, and even the legendary lords may not have them. Therefore, the lords of the half-step legendary realm rarely come to the time business, unless there are treasures that are of great use to the half-step legendary realm, they can attract the half-step legendary realm lords to come. The employees of the time trading company are all legendary lords, and perhaps many of the employees are just ordinary legendary lords, but no one dares to underestimate them, and even countless legendary lords who want to become employees of the time trading company have no way to go. There is no relationship, and it is impossible to enter the time business at all. Once you join the time firm, it means that you have a big backer, and almost no one dares to move the staff of the time firm. However, almost all time firms recruit from within. After all, there have been a large number of practitioners within time firms for countless years, so it is naturally easy to give birth to some legendary lords. Yi Tian came to the time firm, and soon a female employee came to receive him. This female employee was the legendary lord of the initial realm. This guest, you should come to the time firm for the first time. You can come to our firm to register an account. Our account is very confidential, and even the lord of the legendary realm cannot interfere with your account, said the female employee. Yi Tian is not surprised that he was discovered when he first arrived. The time firm does not have his information, so these employees can know it instantly. If they don't even know this, there is no need for the time firm to open. Okay, let me set up an account first. Yi Tian nodded. It is very inconvenient to not have an account when trading at a time firm. But in the void area, only time firms are qualified to create accounts for customers, so that customers can put their property in with confidence. If it is another firm, it may be destroyed one day. Who dares to put things in? Of course, the incomparably precious things are not put into the time firm. Soon, the time firm has set up an account for Yi Tian, and obtained a special card. This card is very extraordinary. It uses a very powerful rule and cannot change its substance and internal information. It must be related to the Eternal Master, otherwise it would not have such characteristics. Does the time firm have empty sea gravel, time river beads, and time and space ancient leaves? Yi Tian asked. Not at present. The female employee shook her head and said, however, 300 million Eternals ago, the time firm in Beihei auctioned a grain of empty sea gravel, and 600 million Eternals auctioned a time river pearl in the ancient sea. Ancient leaves, the earliest time they appeared was 1.8 billion years ago, and no one auctioned them. If there is news about these three treasures, I hope the time firm can inform me. Yi Tian said, no problem, as long as the customer handles the message reminder business, we will notify the customer in time. Said the female employee. Yi Tian handled the business immediately, and then left the time firm. After all, without these three treasures, it would be meaningless for him to stay in the time firm. So, he left the time firm. After returning, Yi Tian continued to practice in seclusion, comprehending the blood tissue of the supreme legendary creature. No matter what, he still has to comprehend the supreme legendary body. Only if he has enough understanding and perception of the supreme legendary body, in the future, he can condense the supreme legendary body when he obtains time river pearl, Konghai gravel, and space-time ancient leaf. Otherwise, the perception is not deep. Even if the three treasures are obtained, there is no way to condense the supreme legendary body. In addition, Yi Tian continued to practice the eternal Tao, striving to cultivate a large amount of eternal Tao to the legendary level as soon as possible. Moreover, the world of will rules can continue to improve. Although the improvement is slow, it is also a way to improve strength. Not only that, the will and rule perception and control of time can continue to improve, which is not affected by the cultivation realm. After many years, about 3 million eternal years. On this day, the time firm sent a message to Yi Tian. Yi Tian saw this message and immediately looked happy. There is time for the news of Heju. Chapter 1735 Auction Places. The message from the time firm said that there was news of time Heju, but it wasn't someone auctioning time Heju. Such treasures, not many people are willing to auction them, unless there is a real lack of a certain treasure, they will choose to auction them in exchange for things. This time, the time firm said that the time river pearl appeared in a relic, but the specific situation still needs to be known to the time firm. So, Yi Tian immediately came to the time firm of Immeasurable Sea. Time firm. Yi Tian found that there were many legendary lords, even half-step legendary realm lords, in the time firm today. After all, when it comes to the time river bead, not only Yi Tian needs it, but others also need it. Treasures like the time river bead have too many uses, not only to help condense to a high legendary body, but even help to control time. Soon, Yi Tian learned about the specific situation at the time firm. It turned out that a ruin was discovered in the void area not long ago, which can also be said to be the cemetery of a legendary lord. Legendary realm lords are very difficult to fall, or they are killed, and there is no cemetery. Unless they are fatally injured, their lives cannot be stopped, they cannot be cured, and they must die. Build a cemetery. 29 And this is the case this time. The legendary lord built a cemetery before he died. In fact, many years ago, it was rumored that the legendary lord was about to fall, but no one found him. And the legendary realm lord has a time river bead. A peak legendary realm lord of the time trading company calculated that the time river pearl was still there and was not used by the legendary realm lord, and it was in that cemetery. It stands to reason that once the cemetery is discovered, the peak legend lord should be able to easily take away the treasures inside, but in fact he cannot. Because this cemetery prohibits the entry of lords above the half-step legendary realm, the half-step legendary realm lord cannot break through the ban placed by the legendary realm lord, and the legendary realm lord does not dare to forcibly invade the cemetery. Because once it is forcibly invaded, the cemetery is connected to the long river of time, which will cause a big explosion of time, and the power of the long river of time will be vented, even enough to seriously damage the legendary lord, and only the legendary lord of the peak will be unscathed. However, the lord of the peak legendary realm will not destroy this cemetery. Once it is destroyed, all the treasures in this cemetery will be destroyed, and even the time river pearl cannot be preserved, so it is meaningless. Moreover, with just a time river pearl, it is impossible to let the peak legendary realm lead the initiative. At this time, the time business was filled with the voices of the legendary lords chatting. I heard that the time firm is going to auction the location of the cemetery ruins this time. 1. The time firm will really make money, and I am afraid that a position will sell a lot of wealth. 1. No way, now this location is in the hands of the time firm, and if we want to enter the ruins, we can only buy the location. Someone should have discovered it, and then asked the time firm to auction it, or else the time firm would let the legendary lord enter the exploration. With the strength of the time firm, it is not a problem to find the time river beads. Wait for the news, the auction time will definitely come out. Yi Tian was waiting for the news at the time firm, and without letting him wait too long, a person in charge of the time firm appeared. The person in charge said, "Our time firm is about to start auctioning the location of the relic, and the person who has obtained the location of the relic must not tell others about it, and must make an oath." Black heart. Many legendary lords thought, if they can speak out, they can at least speak to their own forces, or sell them to others, but once they are restricted, they must make an oath, then they can only auction and go by themselves. In this way, the time companies may earn more by selling their positions than by entering the cemetery. After all, no one knows how many good things there are in that cemetery. Have your time firm entered the ruins. If you have entered, then there is no need to auction it. A transcendental legendary lord said. Don't worry, we only sent one legendary lord of transcendence, and he quickly withdrew, and did not go deep into the ruins, so you are worried that our time firm will take away the treasures inside. It will not happen. The person in charge of the time firm said. That's good. Many legendary lords are still very at ease with the reputation of the time business. At least a cemetery of a legendary lord is not enough for them to destroy their reputation. Not long after, the auction started. The time firm, the inner void. Legendary lords have come, but there are not a few half-step legendary lords, and it is impossible for these few to go to the auction, because it is unnecessary, and the auction is already in hand, and they cannot enter the ruins. Therefore, they just came to watch the excitement. Basically, the people who come here are the legendary lords of the Transcendence realm and a few legendary lords of the realm, because such relics are bound to be very dangerous, and the legendary lords of the realm enter them, and it is easy to fall. Once fell, not only paid the price of the auction, but also paid for a clone. If there is a legendary lord who doesn't even have a clone, he will not dare to enter. At this time, an auctioneer took out a card and said, "A card represents a quota. We will send location information to customers who have won a quota at a certain time, and now we will start the auction of the first quota, 30 million time coins." Time coin is an internal currency issued by the time firm, and a time coin of 873 is of great value, so 30 million time coins are comparable to the lifetime wealth of an ordinary legendary lord. 30 million, a transcendental legendary lord shouted. No price increase. They are not stupid. It's just the auction quota. It's not a quota. The time firm will not limit the quota, so they won't spend more money, saying that the starting price is 30 million time coins, which is actually the final transaction price. No one raised the price, and the first place was quickly confirmed. 30 million time coins, I really don't have any. Yi Tian thought to himself. So, he went to exchange time coins halfway through. The time business collects many precious items, which can be exchanged for time coins. Not long after, Yi Tian exchanged 30 million time coins and returned to the auction house again. Auction time after time, the speed is very fast. Immeasurable C's super utility is limited, plus the detached lords who are willing to buy places, that's right. Many transcendental lords will wait until the news is completely spread before going to the ruins, and are not in a hurry to go to the first batch. Therefore, they don't want to waste money. And Yi Tian was in a hurry to take the time Huju, so he naturally wanted to buy a place. Soon, Yi Tian was the first to call out the auction price, 30 million. 1. A place is in hand. Chapter 1736 Unquenchable Longyan Fire. Soon, the auction will be over. Yi Tian has already obtained a place, so he just needs to go back and wait slowly. I have only waited for dozens of days in Earth time, and in Infinite Sea, such a short time is nothing at all. A void area near the Jinsha Sea. Yi Tian looked at the information from the time firm, and prepared to rush to Jinsha Sea immediately. There is a time-space ladder to enter the Jinsha Sea in the Infinite Sea, and there is also a holy land. So, Yi Tian quickly arrived at the Jinsha Sea from the time-space ladder of the holy land. Subsequently, he left the Jinsha Sea, shuttled in the void area, shuttled for a long time, and then came to the cemetery of this legendary lord. Soon, there were more detached lords here one after another. Here, Yi Tian also met several transcendental lords of the Holy Land, and they also greeted Yi Tian. Lord Endless, you are here too. Several detached lords who really have no holy place said hello. These transcendental lords are Lord Jinbei, Lord Huyan, Lord Yunzhong, and Lord Mui. Yi Tian responded to the four lords one by one. Subsequently, Lord Muyi said, "This ruin is the cemetery of Lord Yangli, the legendary lord of the realm. Lord Yangli has a bad temper. Before he fell, he was afraid that his territory would be very dangerous. It's going to be a lot to die for. I suggest we go in later and let them find the way first. I also think it's too late. It's not easy to take away the good things inside. If you rush in the first one, you won't necessarily gain benefits. It's very likely that you will lose a clone." Lord Jinbei said. "You can go in later." Yi Tian also agreed. He wasn't in a hurry. He didn't think the other detachment lords would be the first to go in and they would be able to take the Time River Pearl. At this time, the entrance to this ruin was still sealed by a legendary lord of the Time firm. When the people were almost there, the legendary realm lord of the Time business opened the seal. "Everyone, I wish you a great opportunity in this cemetery ruins." After speaking, the legendary lord escaped into the river of time and disappeared. "Go in." A detached lord rushed into the dark entrance of the cemetery. This cemetery is in a special void, and it is this entrance that is presented. As for the interior of the cemetery, they are not clear. But there were still many detachment lords who were very bold and rushed in directly. After these detached lords broke into the cemetery, they immediately entered a sea of fire. No, it's the inextinguishable Longyan fire. Damn it, Lord Yangli has collected so many inextinguishable Longyan fires to form the inextinguishable Longyan fire formation. I can't stop it. Almost instantly, the detached lord turned to ashes. Not only this detachment lord, but also the first batch of detachment lords who rushed in, almost 90% of them could not hold it, and instantly turned into ashes. Only a few top detachment lords rushed out of the sea of fire from the inextinguishable Longyan. Someone came out, Yi Tian said. I saw a few transcendental lords rushing out of the cemetery dragging their heavily wounded bodies, and some of them still carried the inextinguishable Longyan fire. Unextinguishable dragon rock fire. Yi Tian knew this flame, one of the most terrifying flames in the void area. The inextinguishable Longyan fire can even be burned to ashes by the Lord of the Transcendence Realm, and only the half-step legendary realm lord can shake the inextinguishable Longyan fire. At this moment, many detached lords already know the situation inside. The inextinguishable Longyan fire forms a sea of fire, and once it enters the cemetery, it will inevitably endure the burning of the inextinguishable Longyan fire. If the physical strength is not enough, it cannot withstand the burning of the inextinguishable Longyan fire, and there is no way to go deep into the cemetery. It can be said that entering the first level of the cemetery encountered a big problem. It's over, my body is not strong enough to resist the inextinguishable Longyan fire. Unless you find the eternal treasure or special treasure that can resist the inextinguishable dragon rock fire, you can cross the sea of the inextinguishable dragon rock fire. I spent so much time and money to buy places in vain. I would have known that I would not have spent such a waste of money. The Time firm is too black-hearted. He knew that I couldn't make it through, and he sold us the quota. Although Time firm has a good reputation, but you expect them to be kind. Forget it. At this time, many transcendental lords were timid and did not dare to go in, otherwise they would lose a clone. The key is that this time, there are still some legendary lords of the realm who have purchased the places. Now they are all desperate. Even many detached lords who have condensed the legendary body can't bear the inextinguishable Longyan fire. They couldn't find death in the past. Not good, the inextinguishable Longyan fire restrains my legendary body. Lord Muyi smiled bitterly. Anyway, it's actually here, you have to try it. Lord Jinbei said. At this time, several detachment lords looked at Yi Tian. Quote. Endless Lord, do you still insist on going in? Asked the Lord in the cloud. Naturally I want to go in. Yi Ji's body was still very confident. Several detachment lords had heard of Yi Tian's deeds and knew that Yi Tian was not an ordinary half-step detachment legendary lord, so they did not persuade them. Come in together, Lord Jinbei suggested. Can. The five rushed into the entrance of the cemetery together. Wow, the world has changed, and they have entered the inextinguishable Longyan sea of fire. Boom, the endless inextinguishable Longyan fire was burning their bodies, and Lord Muyi couldn't hold it any longer. No, I have to go out, otherwise this clone will surely die. After speaking, Lord Muyi fled directly. Among them, the 3 legendary lords of transcendence can still hold on, and the easiest Qian Zhaohao is Yi Tian. Yi Tian broke through the sea of gray fog and fire in the gray fog stone statue, and completed the remodeling of the body particles. The firmness of the body particles is very terrifying, comparable to the half-step legend. Therefore, even if the inextinguishable Longyan fire is very terrifying, it is difficult to help Yi Tian. The other 3 detachment lords were struggling to support, seeing Yi Tian so relaxed, suddenly dumbfounded. Lord Endless, aren't you afraid of not extinguishing the Longyan fire? Asked the Lord in the cloud. My body is a bit special, so I'm not afraid of not extinguishing the Longyan fire. Yi Tian said with a smile. When the 3 legendary lords of transcendence heard this, they were immediately envious. Immediately, they were going through the inextinguishable Longyan sea of fire at the fastest speed. Finally, when the 3 legendary lords of transcendence were about to be unable to support them, they rushed over, but they were all severely injured, and they were afraid that they would need to be recuperated for a long time. And Yi Tian is almost without any injuries. Chapter 1737 Time Trap. Endless Lord, I really envy you. You have passed through the inextinguishable Longyan fire sea, and you are not injured, and you are only half a step away from the legendary Lord of Transcendence, and our top legendary lords of Transcendence are seriously injured. Lord Jinbei envied. It's just luck, it's just that I'm not afraid of not extinguishing the Longyan fire. Yi Tian smiled slightly. Let's go and see what's good here. The Lord in the cloud said. So, Yi Tian separated from them, otherwise it would not be easy to distribute the good things. Whoa whoa, several people flew away in one direction. Everyone flew very slowly, just for fear of encountering a trap. After all, this is the cemetery of Lord Yangli, so you must be careful, otherwise you won't know how he died. Lord Yangli's cemetery is huge, like a new world. As the Lord of the legendary realm, Lord Yangli naturally does not want his cemetery to be disturbed after his death, so he will set up the inextinguishable Longyan fire at the entrance, but the Lord Yangli has set up that lords above half a step in the legendary realm are not allowed to enter the cemetery. The internal settings cannot be too strong, and it is impossible to threaten the level of the legendary lord. Moreover, Lord Yonglai must have expected that his graveyard would be discovered one day, so the periphery may give some benefits, but a very dangerous trap must have been set up inside, which can almost make the almost invincible existence of the detached lord fall, many times. Therefore, Yi Tian also has to be careful. Although he doesn't care about a duplicate body, once it falls, it will take a lot of time. So, if you can't fall, don't fall. Soon, Yi Tian found a temple, just in the void. Afterwards, he entered it, but the palace was banned and wrapped, and if he wanted to enter it, he had to break the ban. Boom! Yi Tian tried to attack, and found that the ban defense was good, at least it needed many top detachment lords to make a move, and it would take some time to break it. And he can break the ban by himself, but it will waste a long time. So, Yi Tian directly gave up the things in this temple. After all, such a precious item as the Time River Pearl could not be placed in this place. In the following time, Yi Tian found several palaces, all of which were forbidden. He also saw some detached lords, while healing and breaking the ban. Yi Tian doesn't care about the benefits here, but is looking for a passage into the interior of the cemetery. Copy a few duplicate bodies, let's find them together. Yi Tian started to copy his own body. Soon, 3 duplicate bodies were gathered here. The 3 duplicate bodies shuttled from different directions, looking for the inner passage of the cemetery. Finally, after spending a lot of time, Yi Tian finally found it. Moreover, not only Yi Tian found it, but also several transcendental legendary lords. An unimaginably huge void gate appeared in the void, and everyone knew that behind the void gate was the place leading to the interior of the cemetery. And at this moment, Yi Tian came here, and 3 other legendary lords of transcendence were hesitating whether to enter or not. Yi Tian saw that they didn't dare to go in, so he went in first. Seeing that Yi Tian had all entered, the 3 no longer hesitated and went in together. After passing through the void gate, there is a peaceful area on the other side. At the chance, the shadow of the palace can be seen, which should be the inner cemetery area. The treasure there is mine, a transcendental legendary lord said excitedly. He quickly shuttled over, but just after traveling a certain distance, the whole person froze for a moment, and then his body was annihilated. What happened? The other 2 detached lords, CJFI, were stunned. Why was this detachment lord suddenly annihilated? Time trap. Yi Tian can see it. Just now, the legendary lord of detachment fell into the time trap set up by Lord Yangli. His body seemed to be far away, but he actually fell into the time trap, and the time trap was very dangerous, directly annihilating this detachment. The body of a legendary lord. At this time, the other two legendary lords of transcendence did not dare to move, and stayed here to observe the surroundings. Unexpected, one of the legendary lords of transcendence was unable to move, as if frozen by time, and was soon annihilated. At this time, Yi Tian and the other legendary lord of transcendence realized that the time trap here appeared randomly, and for the intruder, even if they didn't move, they would be targeted by the time trap. Suddenly, when the crisis came, Yi Tian moved away directly. A time trap appeared where he was standing, but he avoided it in time. I'm about to take control of time, and when the time trap falls, I can sense it in time and avoid it. 1. Yi Tian thought to himself. Therefore, he is not afraid of the time trap here. It is estimated that Lord Yangli did not expect that the legendary lord of half-step legendary realm, there are still people who are about to control the time, so the time trap below is solved. Wow! Yi Tian rushed towards the palace in the distance, and once a time trap came, he directly avoided it. At this time, the detachment lord thought that Yi Tian was lucky, and rushed to the palace in the distance. However, he only traveled a certain distance, and the time trap came. Why is he okay, and I have an accident when I move? This detached legendary lord thought to himself before this clone was annihilated. He felt so unfair that the time trap was aimed at him. Soon, Yi Tian passed through this time trap area and came to a huge palace. In front of the palace, there is a tombstone with some words inscribed on it, which are from the words of Lord Yangli. Later, if you pass through here, it will prove that your strength is incomparably enchanting at the level of detachment lord. I know you latecomers are for treasures, and my main tomb does not store any treasures, please don't enter, otherwise the cemetery will start self-destruction. The treasure you want is in the blue palace, after you get the treasure, please leave here. After Yi Tian read it, he did not feel that Lord Yonglai was lying. Therefore, he would not enter the main tomb palace in front of him. He went to the azure palace next to him. If Time Huju was in this cemetery, it would most likely be inside. Wow! Yi Tian passed by quickly, and soon entered the Blue Palace. Chapter 1738 3 Treasures, Amazing Ideas. Inside the Blue Palace. Yi Tian walked in without encountering any danger. Obviously, the words on the stone tablet should not be false. If it is false, even if you kill others, you can only kill other people's clones. Others can reunite their clones to retaliate, so as to disturb the corpse of Lord Yangli. That is not Lord Yonglai's original intention. Therefore, it is impossible for Yonglai to make trouble for himself after his death. There are many treasures in the Blue Palace, one by one suspended in a small space. The moment he came in, Yi Tian knew that he could only choose 3 treasures, and once he had chosen 3 treasures, he would be expelled from the Cyan Palace. Certainly, he can also choose to decipher the means in the Cyan Palace to take away all the treasures, but it will definitely take a long time, and at that time, some other monstrous detachment lords also passed the time trap and came here. Therefore, the treasures here will eventually be empty. So there is no need to waste so much time. Time Huju, it should be here. Yi Tian kept searching and quickly locked a treasure box. He felt the power of time from this treasure box, and the location of this treasure box was located in the center of the Blue Palace, so it must be a very valuable item, most likely it is the Time River Bead. Yi Tian took some time to browse all the treasures here, and the treasure box was the most likely. Just choose this. Yi Tian took the treasure box and opened it immediately. A gray-white bead was placed in the center of the box. It really is a Time River Pearl. Yi Tian was overjoyed. This may not be the most valuable item here, but it is definitely the rarest, and the most valuable item to him. Received. Yi Tian immediately started to choose other items. He could also choose 2. Many treasures here are very good, although there are some ordinary ones, but even ordinary things are enough to make any detached legendary lord's heart move, so those ordinary things are placed in the outer cemetery, that is, in the outer palaces. With so many good things, Yi Tian really had a hard time choosing. Choose it. Yi Tian stared at one of the items and said. This is an eternal treasure, and it is not an ordinary eternal treasure. In the void area, the general eternal treasures are not divided into grades, but as a whole, the eternal treasures actually have a division, which can be divided into lower eternal treasures, middle eternal treasures, and upper eternal treasures. Among them, the upper eternity treasures are almost all in the hands of those peak legend realm lords, and the one in front of them is a median eternity treasure, and it is also the only median eternity treasure of Lord Yangli. However, there was damage to this median eternal treasure, which should be the damage caused when Lord Yonglai fought with the enemy. However, the eternal treasure has the ability to repair itself, so the loss today is not too big, and its value is still much stronger than those of the top lower eternal treasures. It can be said that the eternal treasure on Yi Tian is not as precious as this eternal treasure. Wow! Yi Tian took out the eternal treasure stored in the small space, which was in the shape of a shuttle. Due to the particularity here, this eternal treasure is not in an untouchable state. Yi Tian can easily touch it. The moment he touched this shuttle, Yi Tian knew its name, Ruyi Shu Tiansuo. The median eternal treasure, Ruyi Void Tiso, contains a variety of powerful space eternal taos, the 5 eternal taos of piercing, cracking, crushing, Tianpo and Ruyi, and these 5 eternal taos are all biased towards space. It can be said that if these 5 eternal ways are cultivated to the legendary realm, it will help Yi Tian to control the space in the future. These 5 eternal ways are also powerful eternal ways, but they are still not as good as the Grey Fog eternal way. Yes, a median eternal treasure is still more valuable than the Time River Pearl, but the Time River Pearl is even rarer. Yi Tian muttered. It took him a while to initially control this eternal treasure, Ruyi Void Tiso, and then put it away. At this moment, he can also choose an item. After a while, Yi Tian finally chose the 3rd item. Forbid Sky Sea Fruit. The forbidden sea fruit is a very precious treasure, a treasure of heaven and earth that can be eaten. He had read it in the treasure records of the true No Holy Land before. Its only use is to strengthen the willpower, and there are no sequelae. For flowers, among the treasures that enhance willpower, the forbidden sky sea fruit is listed as the top 10 precious treasures. However, it is too precious and has too much effect. Even if the number is not too small, it needs a lot of people, so except for a few legendary lords, it is almost gone. Even if any legendary lord obtains the forbidden sky sea fruit, he will also eat the refining directly to enhance your willpower. In fact, many half-step legend realm lords are eager to obtain a forbidden sky sea fruit. For Yi Tian, the effect of forbidden sky sea fruit is also very big. It can help him break through the bottleneck of his will and hit the 6th order will. What is the concept of 6th order will? Even the detachment lords and a few half-step legendary lords have only 5th order wills, while some legendary lords have 6th order wills, but they are basically 6th order late wills. The will of the peak legend lord can reach the 7th order, and the will of the eternal master can even reach the 8th and 9th orders, which is too far away from him. In short, once Yi Tian has a 6th order will, his strength can be improved again, and the will rules heaven and earth will become stronger. Therefore, from the perspective of cost performance, Jintian Heguo is the most helpful to him. Got it. Yi Tian took the forbidden sky sea fruit directly. At this time, a force rushed in and directly moved him out of the blue palace. Yi also breathed a sigh of relief when the 3 treasures were in hand. If only I could go in again. Yi Tian muttered. Suddenly, what did he think of? Maybe other people can't enter, because the body of the clone is the same, and if you change a clone, you can't enter the blue palace. The detection of the legendary lords must be impossible for the legendary lords to avoid. However, he might be able to avoid it. For example, if he copied the appearance of other legendary lords and entered this Azure Palace, would he be regarded by the Azure Palace as other legendary lords? If this is the case, he will be able to sweep away all the treasures in the Blue Palace, leaving none of them behind. You can try it. Yi Tian is excited. Chapter 1739 Breakthrough, 6th Order Eternal Will. Yi Tian first copied the body of a legendary lord of the realm of the Holy Land, and then walked to the Azure Palace. Whether you can go in or not depends on this time. If you can enter, it means that the ability of the legendary lord cannot see through the copying ability of the copying talent. Wow! Yi Tian's body entered the Green Palace and was not restricted. If I can go in, if you say so, all the treasures in this palace belong to me. 1. Immediately, Yi Tian chose 3 treasures at random, and immediately came out. Then, Yi Tian annihilated this cloned body and began to clone the body of another legendary lord of the spiritual realm. Just like this, Yi Tian entered the Cyan Palace as a different legendary lord again and again. Not long after, nearly 1,000 treasures of the 873 in the Blue Palace all fell into Yi Tian's hands. It can be said that with the value of these treasures, his current worth is already comparable to that of an ordinary legendary lord. With all the treasures in hand, Yi Tian doesn't need to stay here. Immediately, Yi Tian left here directly, passed the time trap, and returned to the periphery. On the way back, he met other legendary lords, but he didn't care. After all, a legendary lord had seen him pass through the time trap before, and the news of his passing through the time trap could not be concealed at all. However, when it comes to the treasure in his hands, he will not go back. At present, other legendary lords just don't know how many treasures are in the Blue Palace, but they will definitely know that the Time River bead is in his hands. However, after all, he is a member of the True Holy Land. If a cloned body stays in the True Holy Land, he is not afraid of any interception. Soon, Yi Tian rushed out of Lord Yonglai's tomb, and returned to the Holy Land with the fastest speed. There is no holy place, Yi Tian is back. After that, he doesn't care. After returning, he immediately began refining the forbidden sky sea fruit. There was no need to keep this treasure, and he directly refined it to improve his will. His willpower is also very close to the peak of the fifth order. If he directly refines the forbidden sea fruit, he can break through to the sixth order eternal will by 100%. Immediately, Yi Tian took out the forbidden sky sea fruit and swallowed it in one bite. Boom! The energy of forbidden sky sea fruit exploded in Yi Tian's body, merged into the body particles, and began to enhance Yi Tian's will, especially the source of will, which began to transform. Soon, Yi Tian's will was raised to the pinnacle of the fifth order peak. A moment, click, the shackles were broken, and Yi Tian's will was elevated to the sixth order eternal will. The terrifying willpower diffused out from Yi Tian's body. At this time, all the legendary realm lords of the True Holy Land felt it, because Yi Tian had just broken through and couldn't completely conceal his willpower, so they felt a little bit of it. The will of the Endless Lord has reached the sixth level. He has not yet broken through to the Detachment Lord, the willpower is increasing too fast. A legendary lord was surprised. After a period of time, Yi Tian completely refined the energy of the forbidden sky sea fruit, and the willpower steadily reached the sixth rank, and at the sixth rank, it improved a bit, and the breath also stabilized. At this time, the incarnation of Lord Wushwang descended and came to Yi Tian. I have seen the Frostless Lord, Yi Tian said respectfully. Lord Endless, I saw that you were less than the fifth order peak will before, but suddenly you have reached the sixth order will. The Frostless Lord expressed his curiosity. Good luck, I got a forbidden sea fruit, Yi Tian said. I got it from the cemetery of Lord Yangli. Frostless Lord guessed it. The news of the cemetery of Lord Yangli has now spread, so she also knew that Yi Tian entered the cemetery of Lord Yangli, but came back early. There must be a great harvest. A forbidden sky sea fruit, this is indeed an amazing harvest. You have found time Huju, otherwise, with your temperament, you will never come back. Lord Frostfree said with a smile. Good, Yi Tian admitted it. Lord Wushwang is a legendary lord, so he doesn't want to covet his time, so there is no need to hide anything. However, he did not reveal that he robbed all the treasures in the cemetery, otherwise it would be difficult to explain. Lord Wushwang didn't ask any more questions, but came to reveal a piece of news. Lord Endless, your will has reached the sixth rank, and your strength should have improved a lot. You can prepare for it. In the near future, there may be hope to obtain empty sea gravel. Of course, it's only possible, and whether you can get it depends on your strength. Also ask Lord Frostfree to reveal a thing or two. Yi Tian said excitedly. It can't be disclosed at the moment, the news can't be spread out, you'll know when the time comes. After saying that, the Frostless Lord left. What news? Yi Tian was extremely curious, and felt that there should be a big move in the Holy Land, otherwise it would not be so secretive. Moreover, Lord Wushwang said that he has the opportunity to obtain the empty sea gravel, which may have something to do with the Weixinglu. Of course, he didn't guess too much, and he wouldn't say it. No matter what happens, strength is the most important thing, try to improve your strength during this time. Yi Tian thought to himself. Immediately, he took out the median eternal treasure, Ruyi Void Tiso. Time passed slowly, and after a long time, Yi Tian refined Ruyi Shu Tiansuo. Ruyi Shu Tiansuo not only contains a variety of eternal ways, but it also has several great functions. 1. It can allow Yi Tian to travel long distances, such as the Infinite Sea and the Origin Sea. If he flies, it will take a long time. Only through the space-time ladder can he quickly return to the Origin Sea. After mastering the Ruyi Shu Tianshuo, he can reach the Source Sea after a few shuttles. It can be said that in the future, he will be second only to the Lord of the Legendary Realm in the future. Second, it can break through the suppression of space. 5.8, for example, the half-step legendary realm that controls the space. If he shoots at him, he can use Ruyi Shu Tiansuo to escape, if it is not like Shu Tiansuo. A half-step legend who controls the space can kill him with a single thought. 3. Escape into the empty sea, and can survive in the empty sea for a period of time. This is awesome. It is difficult for a half-step legendary lord to enter the long river of time and the sea of empty, but he can escape into the sea of empty with the help of Rui Shu Tiansuo, which is enough to prove the power of Rui Shu Tiansuo. Moreover, escaping into the air and sea is also a way to avoid the enemy's pursuit. However, for the lords of the legendary realm, the mere Rui virtual Tiso is of little use. But for Yi Tian, who is less than a detachment lord, Rui Shu Tiansuo can greatly enhance his life-saving ability. Chapter 1740. The Cyan Palace is exposed and targeted. After refining Rui Shu Tiansuo, Yi Tian began to sort out other treasures obtained from the cemetery of Lord Yangli. There are also many of these treasures that are of great help to him. For example, some of them are of great help to improve the will and rule the world. At the same time, in the inner perimeter of the cemetery of Lord Yangli, a legendary lord of transcendence broke through the time trap. This transcendental legendary lord is the legendary lord of the ancient sea, and the first transcendental legendary lord of the ancient sea by Holy Land, the original lord. The strength of the original lord is almost invincible in the legendary lord of transcendence, but he did not come here for the first time. He did not buy a quota, but after the news of the cemetery of the Lord Yangli spread, he became interested in this place, so he came here, got here. He knew that from the outer perimeter of the cemetery to the inner perimeter, he had to go through a time trap, and he could enter the inner perimeter only after passing the time trap. Therefore, he came. Fortunately, he paid the price of serious injury and managed to break in. The native lord also saw the stone tablet of the Lord Yangli, hesitated for a while, and walked into the Cyan Palace next to it. 29. But when he entered the Blue Palace, he was dumbfounded. What about the treasure? In the Blue Palace, not a single treasure was left. For the first time, he suspected that Lord Yangli was fooling him, but when he thought about it carefully, there was no need for Lord Yangli to fool them. Because, at present, there are only two possibilities. The first possibility is that the time firm sent someone in advance and took away the treasures here. Second, a legendary lord of transcendence came here and took away the treasures here. But even if someone comes, there is no way to take all the treasures here at once. A person can only take 3 kinds of treasures, and when he enters the Blue Palace, he will be informed, so he does not believe that one person can take all the treasures here. Soon, the native lord revealed the news, saying that there was no treasure inside the Lord Yangli, and it was taken away. When the news came out, no one believed the native lord, but believed that the native lord wanted to monopolize the treasure. As a result, they were even more mad to break into the interior of the cemetery of Lord Yangli. After a long time, other legendary lords of transcendence finally passed the time trap with the help of some secret treasures, and also saw the Cyan Palace, and naturally found the empty Cyan Palace. For a while, people believed the news that the treasure inside Lord Yangli had disappeared. And the native lord was targeted, and some people thought he did it. And Yi Tian was also targeted because a legendary lord saw Yi Tian coming out from within the Yonglai lord. Of course, there are also people who question the time firm. The reputation of the time firm is good, but it does not mean that all the legendary lords or the legendary lords in the time firm have a good reputation. In terms of really no holy place, it was announced that Yi Tian had only taken 3 items, and there were not many items inside. Although this is a lie that Yi Tian told the truth, but each legendary lord can only take 3 items, and the transcendental lord tried to study the prohibition of the Blue Palace, thinking that under the legendary lord, no one can violate this rule. Therefore, many people believed that Yi Tian only took 3 items. Maybe there are not many items in the Cyan Palace. Yi Tian took 3 pieces, and the native lord took 3 pieces, and they just disappeared. If this is the case, then Zhu is very likely to be on Yi Tian at that time. I still can't avoid being targeted. 1. Yi Tian exclaimed. The outside world thinks that he has time Huju, the key is that he really has time Huju. Certainly, just a time beat is not enough for other powerhouses to invade the Holy Land and take away the time beat on him. Others can only envy him, or find an opportunity to attack him. In order to ensure the safety of his relatives, Yi Tian took his relatives to practice on a limitless island in the true Holy Land. Today, he is barely considered one of the high-level officials of the true unsacred land, so he still has this right. Therefore, even if a strong person is shameless and raids the dark forbidden area of Origin Sea, he will not panic. In fact, when the treasures such as Zhu were on Yi Tian's body at an uncertain time, no one dared to directly attack one of his bodies, so it was unnecessary. Time passed slowly, and the matter of the cemetery of the Lord Yangli gradually subsided, and the original Lord and the endless Lord Yi Tian were famous, especially Yi Tian, the legendary Lord of the half-step transcendence. When he did not enter the Transcendence Lord, it is simply incredible that it can break through the inextinguishable Longyan fire sea and the time trap. Therefore, Yi Tian's attention is higher. One eternity year after another, and before you know it, 3 million eternity years. Yi Tian's cultivation level still hasn't changed, but his willpower and will to rule the world are improving, and more of the eternal Tao has been upgraded to the legendary level. In addition, his attainments in time have reached a higher level, and he is closer to the complete control of time. On this day, a piece of good news came from the Holy Land. The first half-step legendary Lord of the Holy Land, recognized as the strongest half-step legendary, surpassed the original WU-873 Frost Lord in terms of strength, and could be called the invincible Baihang Lord. The strength of Lord Baihang is much stronger than that of Lord Wushwang. He is the most mysterious and oldest half-step legendary Lord of the true Holy Land, and it is time to realize it. However, it is too difficult to become a Lord of the legendary realm. Even the Lord of Baihang is a little slow in controlling time, so he has never made a breakthrough. Now, the bridge of time has been built in the Holy Land, so Lord Baihang has entered the long river of time to cultivate and finally broke the last shackles and successfully controlled time. Therefore, Lord Baihang can attack the realm of legendary Lord at any time. It wasn't long before Lord Wushwang became the Lord of the legendary realm, and there was another legendary realm Lord about to be born in the true Holy Land, which shocked the other forces and made them jealous at the same time. Could it be that the Lord Wushwang was talking about the Baihang Lord breaking through to the legendary Lord? No, it shouldn't be this, it has nothing to do with the empty sea gravel. Yi Tian secretly said. However, he felt that after the breakthrough of Lord Baihang, he would be very close to what Lord Wushwang said. Therefore, he waited silently. And soon after, Lord Baihang is about to enter the long river of time to attack the realm of the legendary Lord.